we're done with that. Closing that. This unmute site. Sure, that's muted. Yep. Unmute site. Okay. Hello. Oh, I should probably put Bill's image away. That away. He's not here right now. He's gonna join us a little bit later. Hello. Welcome to Left for Random Talk. Currently, I am alone, and my friend, my co-host, will be joining us in a bit. He's gone to walk the dog, which is okay. In the meantime, I am going to play some Warframe. I finally figured out how to capture games. I'm going to play some Warframe in the background until he shows up. You're welcome to point any mistakes I make. Just be gentle. I don't really care about doing things perfectly. I play the game I want to because I want to have fun. And we will, no, we're not doing that. And we will start the stream when he shows up. Whoa. Transform. Get to screen. There we go. I'm doing something for my syndicate right now. So options, audio, turn them back up to 25. Confirm. And I'm going to join the Left for Random Talk call. Set myself to online on Discord, and there we go. We do have some topics tonight, and we decided to do this on Friday instead of on Thursday. It just didn't feel right to do it yesterday. So forgive us for having such a weird schedule right now. Crap. Gotta wait for this to go. There we go. But yeah, just gotta wait on my friend. It's still gonna be Left for Random Talk. Just, I want to play a game. I don't want people to keep waiting for us to start. When I said we were gonna start at 3:30, it's well past 3:30. So, yeah. Ah. I hate this. I hate this one. Actually, I hate the other one where you go underwater. It's so annoying. Ah. I have a bit of a broken keyboard, so sometimes I'll move when I don't want to. And go around here. Hey, for those of you who want to do the Uranus spy missions, here's how you do it. For this one, at least. Ah, these things are so slow. There we go. And kaboom, we're in. I'm also very easily distracted in this game. I will go for the loot. Beep. Got it.
They won't even know it's gone.
Because I can't tell how loud this game is, so if somehow this game is louder than me, let me know. So I'll make sure that this is okay until my friend shows up.
Knows you're here.
Oh no, do I have to go underwater? Are you serious? Okay. Better get some tellurium out of this. Oh. Nope, wrong button. Damn it. Back here. I want to scan you, damn it. What? Uh-oh, I think... Really? Get out of here.
I will consider what I have learned from the skirmish.
Oh, god dang it. A shark hit me. Let it be known, HH is not afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid of anything in the ocean. No witnesses. Boop. Boop. Just gonna ignore that and go right to C. Oh, great, it's this one. I hate this one.
The target console is nearby. If you trigger alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data.
You can vaguely see where I am. Vaguely. Helps that my carrier is pointing out for people. Boom. I'm gonna go the upper route, just to make it easier on myself. Beep. Yeah, this also helps people who are trying to do this part of it. Yeah. This part makes me so nervous. Got her. Now let's do this.
Excellent. A clean extraction with no alarms. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
Shut up, fake space mom. You're not my real mom. Ta-da! almost out. Great. Wait, what did it say Blob was doing? Yeah, this is a podcast where I am not doing podcasty things right now. Yes, I'm a part of Parent Sequence. I am a merchant guild. Things to know about me. Every time I was on a Minecraft server, I would be the head merchant. I had a shop. I ran a supply store. Mostly because I knew there were people who were new to the game who would join the server and not know what to do. I wanted to help out. Oh yay, another boar blueprint. Okay, he's here, he's here, he's here. Yay. Yay. I should probably turn off... yeah, I should probably turn off text-to-speech. Yeah, let me do that. Hello?
Your mic is really low, by the way.
For you, not for me. Or, OBS.
Well, I was hearing it on the YouTube, and it's really low. Barely hear you.
What?
Yee.
Oh, it's because I did turn myself down. How's that?
Oh, hold on.
Hello? Hello, 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 hello. I'm
Hold
talking.
on.
I know, I'm talking. I know. I am talking to see if it works. I have to keep talking, or else we won't know.
Alright, I think it sounds better than it did before. Barely.
Yeah, I'm going to turn down the game then. In fact, I'm just going to completely mute it.
Okay then, so...
Yeah, we're now starting. We are now starting.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Left for Random Talk, episode 7.
Yay!
7 episodes.
Yay!
And we still barely break 100 views. Awesome.
And we can still never get the timing to start right.
Mm-hmm. Nor do we know any way to draw more people in. I guess that's the story of our life then.
Oh shit!
Anyway.
Wait, I forgot to put the links in the Discord groups. Keep talking. You got it.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, today's going to be a bit odd. We weren't here on, what was it, Thursday? Yesterday?
I've already explained. It didn't feel appropriate to do it yesterday.
Yes, with everything that's happened, we decided not to go through with it.
Yep.
Anyway.
But now we're doing this, and I am playing Warframe in the background. I don't care if I'm doing anything wrong. I am just playing the game to have fun.
Yeah. Maybe we should also do Warframe as a side thing. Like a bit of a lore cast or something like that. Just shooting the shit, I guess.
I'll leave that up to you.
Alright then. So, today we have a few topics. I think only 3. I am going to be adding one in now because I saw the movie. And frankly, I want to talk about it. For those of you who don't know, I saw the latest... I know you're not going to have any point in this because you're not a fan of it, so...
Nope.
I saw Solo today.
Oh, I've been seeing I turned my ad blocker off of YouTube so I could support YouTubers, and I've been getting lots and lots and lots of ads for Alexa to go see Solo. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't want to see it.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Well, if you want to know, or those of you who do want to know, I saw the film, and I can honestly say that, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it was not good. It could have been better. And for those of you who want to know, I am going to be spoiling the fuck out of this film.
Should
Honestly,
I put something to indicate there's a spoiler?
if you want. Oh, hang on. I'm going to start the timer now. I'm just going to be time. By the way, I'm going to be timing us mostly because I want to see how long we'll go for. Again, this is just a personal thing, just to see what we do. Oops, shit. Just going to put it on my little tripod here, and there we go.
I am looking for an image to use that is not weird and out of context. Then again, last time we put up a spoiler, it was literally spoiler worm.
And then just put spoiler worm.
I'd have to draw him again. I'm playing a game.
Why didn't you save spoiler worm?
Because it was a doodle.
Why do you hate spoiler worm? Let it be known that HH hates spoiler worm. She despises him.
I don't hate spoiler worm.
I know. I'm just messing with you. So anyway, yeah. Well, I guess this would be just a general spoiler. I guess since we've said like 5 fucking times now. So, yeah. If you hate us, please send all your hate mail to P.O. Box 382. I don't give a fuck. All right. Now then, so Solo. Where to begin? Where to begin? Well, I won't be going into the background shit, like what was going on in the background of the film and how utterly incompetent everyone was about it. Believe me, I could get in legal trouble for leaking this kind of crap, so we won't go through that. Instead, I will speak briefly on the film itself. So for those of you who don't or have been ignoring it like you should, Solo is a standalone Star Wars movie in which basically it goes into Han Solo's origin story. I don't think anyone wanted to see this film. I don't even think it was supposed to be made, but whatever. It's a thing now. It basically chronologues the following: how Solo met Chewbacca, how the Kessel Run, the big thing he brags about in the beginning of Episode 4, and how he got the Falcon. Now, I just summed up all that in like, what, 0.5 seconds? Give or take?
Yeah, give or take. Sorry. People were threatening to come down the stairs, so I had to mute myself in the stream. Carry on.
Oh, sorry. Fair enough. Yeah, I summed that up in a very short amount of time. The movie is an hour, and it peters about all this shit. It really does. It shows Solo in the beginning of the film on Corellia. It's basically like this big trading shithole world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to say China, because that's the quality of life there is not terrible, more or less. It's more like I want to say like Cuba or something like that.
Life is bad, but it's not that bad, kind of thing.
Yeah, like they're exporting a lot, but the people are living in squalor, kind of thing.
That would definitely be roughly around China.
Oh, okay, then space China then. Corellia is shit. Nobody gets away with pretty much anything. In fact, it's so corrupted that people just steal and trade everything, and the Imperials don't even bother taking a look at it. They just
now that is not China. Because China is very strict on their laws.
No. Here, basically, like the big thing is that Solo and random bitch, aka random love interest for this movie specifically,
want
to get off this planet and start their lives out there in the galaxy. Like their whole thing is like, we're going to get off this planet and then I don't know, that kind of thing. Not a bad idea, except that in order to get there, they need something worth trading. And the big point of the film is that uh, the Empire and everything is having an extreme shortage on a very special fuel, which they need to power their Imperial Star Destroyers. It's an
Oh
interesting
boy,
idea.
the blood of the innocents.
The blood of the yes, space whale oil. Actually, I kid about that, but there's actually space whales in Star Wars. I'm
Well,
not making that up either.
not too surprised. It's a thing with Doctor Who.
No, you know what's bullshit about these whales specifically?
Hmm.
They have natural light speed. They literally light speed everywhere. I
Well,
know it's stupid.
how big are they?
They're huge. Like we're talking the
Then
size of
they
a
have
small
every
starship.
right to do that.
It's still bullshit. Still bullshit. But anyway, so as you could, I don't know if people can hear that.
The game?
There's there's an ice cream truck outside.
Oh no, they can't hear it.
Okay, good. It's like, yes, recorded live from the inside of the ice cream van.
Lucky.
No, but basically that's the big thing. So Solo and Girl steal a very small amount of this fuel. Like we're talking about the size of one of those
Okay, now they would probably be able to hear it, but it's such a tiny noise
I'm sorry, I can't do
that
anything about
it's not too distracting, but like it's one of those things you can faintly hear in the background or something.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. There are
It's all right.
children,
It's all
and
right.
they must have their sweets.
Ours is run by like, no joke. Ours is run by a church. So if you so you get an ice cream and a Bible.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
Yeah.
really horrible.
Plus, that is the guy that runs the truck brings his dog along, so you get to pet a puppy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Anyway, so they managed to bribe an Imperial officer. Like they're trying to get into a oh god, what's that? A TSA. They're trying to get through Imperial TSA. That's basically what it is, by the way. And so they bribe the woman with a, you know those coin things, right? Where you put all the coins in and you roll it up?
Yep.
They bribe her with this little coin thing full of fuel. And she lets them through because that's how valuable this stuff is. Like they flat out say that's worth 600 credits right there.
Just that tiny
Like,
little thing is 600.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
No small fee. But of course, Solo gets through. But then the Imperial lady is a total bitch and calls the security when she gets her thing. So not surprising. So then this all happens. Solo is separated from girlfriend as she's taken away by Space TSA, and then he has nowhere to go. He then sees an Imperial recruiting center right there, comes up to it and says he wants to join the Empire, specifically the flight corps of the Empire, and basically is so that way he will be given a ship so he can fly back and get his girlfriend. Needless to say, he flunks out of space flight. Not because he's bad, but because he just can't follow orders. That's not surprising, given it's Han Solo.
Yeah.
But they don't. But here's the thing: they don't kick him out of the Imperial program. They just switch him over to oh god, what's the word? They switch him to. Oh god, hold on. What's the word? They swap him over to
someone else to teach him.
No, infantry.
Yeah,
he gets
different
swapped
profession.
over to the exactly, and basically it's so that way he gets killed. That's literally the whole point. And so now I'm actually going to send an image here, because this is now an official. What's it called? A new official Imperial trooper branch of the Empire, and I'm not making this shit up either. So I'm just gonna send them private.
Yeah, Bill, even the trailer doesn't look good. He's in, what the
The
hell?
trailer lies.
What
Yep.
the heck is that?
Just put it up and
I know.
explain.
I have to save the image. Enable.
Oh, that's such bullshit.
I know.
Uh,
That's the
Discord
problem.
up.
Like, whenever you share an image, I have to save it and then show it.
I hope you're deleting everything I share with you with these things.
Oh yeah. I delete them like
Oh,
after
thank
every
God.
episode.
Good idea.
That, or I just
So
replace it with like the next episode's topics.
fair enough. What's the word? So these guys are now the new a new branch of the Empire. They're called, and I kid you not, Mud Troopers. Yeah,
Wow.
MUD Trooper.
Wow.
I wish I was making this up. I really do. So Han gets he gets put into this group, and he's basically sent into World War One. He's in fact wearing an entire set of mud trooper armor. There's a brilliant moment where he's actually knee deep in mud, fighting alongside fellow troopers. It looks amazing. It looks great. It could have been its own movie. And then he sees, and after everything horrible happens, and he barely survives, a quote unquote captain saves his life along with like two other troopers. Once everything's calmed down, Solo investigates and discovers that the captain is actually a thief. Someone who took the armor off of a dead Imperial captain and is now using it to try and get somewhere or something. He later discovers they're trying to steal a ship. I think it's called an Imperial, like AT transport. It's basically a giant sky crane. Again, don't look too much into it.
Hmm.
So Solo attempts to, bully his way onto the group because he wants to get out of the Imperial army. And the guy just basically says, "This guy's a traitor. Take him away." And they do that. They then put him in a pit to fight a beast. And guess who the beast is?
Oh.
It's Chewie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I'm not really all that shocked, but what?
So at some point,
I was so hoping you would say the Rancor.
No. At some point, they capture Chewbacca, but instead of sending him to a slave camp to work in construction for the Empire, like they do, they sent him to a mudball planet in a random cage to be sport for some reason. I'm sorry, does any of this make sense at all?
Nope. But then again, it is possible like there's a lot of Wookiees, and you don't need that many Wookiees.
There is a whole planet full, but again, these guys helped build the Death Star, so just saying.
Help.
Just don't count out Wookiees. They may be big and stupid looking, but they're incredible engineers.
No, I'm saying help is like more like forced.
Oh yeah, well that was the point. Just if you say help, it sounds a lot better in the paperwork. Just don't look too into it. Anyway, so Chewie almost kills Solo. Solo then speaks to him.
Whoa, you're roboting.
How bad?
We understood that you were saying Wookiee, and then you started chopping up.
How about?
Nope.
Hold on.
Wrong button again. Keep pressing the wrong button.
But
Am
I good?
No.
Okay, let me. Oh.
It's just one of those days again.
Still roboting?
Can't tell now because you're only saying one thing at a time.
Am I still roboting?
Yep.
Uh,
The excavator has lost power. Find and
Thank you, fake space mom. I can see that.
how about now? Am I still going?
You're good.
Okay, finally. So, somehow he starts talking Wookiee to Chewie, and then Chewie understands him. It turns out Solo can speak a bit of it. Convenience. He then convinces Chewie to destroy the cage with him. They then escape. They then board the weird shuttle, the weird AT shuttle. They fly away with the group, who are trying to do a gigantic train heist. You heard me right, a train heist to steal the fuel from the Empire. The whole thing is spectacularly interesting looking. And you meet the crew, all three of them. They all die on this job, except one dude, the guy who gives Han his blaster.
Ah, come on. Pick that up.
It's such bullshit. It also shows another new trooper who is introduced in this movie.
Is
And looks
is it Solo's friend from the movies?
What do you mean?
The guy he keeps talking about. Lando, I think is his name.
No. I said no, new trooper.
Oh.
New soldiers. These guys are just the fuck. That's all I have to say. Like, you thought the mud trooper looked silly. You gotta look at this guy. And let me preface this, by the way. These guys are not seen anywhere else in the film except this one train scene.
Oh, I've seen these guys before.
Yeah.
They look a little bit
They're-
like those Hellgas guys you keep talking about.
They do, and I'm half convinced they took. There was a set for a Killzone movie, and then it never happened, and they just took the costume and say, fuck it, just put it together, it's fine. I would also like to remind everyone, snow troopers are a thing.
Yep.
And this, when they're shown.
Oh my god,
in
he
the
doesn't
game,
have a background.
oh my god, just.
Oh, it's perfect because now he's sliding across the game.
So Lord. So these guys, they're called range troopers. Those boots you see on them, they're magnetic.
Yay.
Basically the train is like on this weird grav lift thing, like the tracks are this weird magnetic system. And so the train can like do flips and things like that. So these guys need these boots to stay on the train and fighting, even though it's like facing a giant snowy mountain, and any slight turn towards the mountain will shred them in half. Just saying.
Wow.
So after Solo and Chewie, or Han and Chewie, help fight off these guys, the prize is then semi-stolen by a group of raiders led by a individual called Enfys Nest. I don't get the name either. Just deal with it. The guy is some sort of raider, pirate, king, whatever you want to call him. So he gets involved. They lose the cargo. The mentor's girlfriend dies, and their other pilot dies because he got shot in the shoulder. And I actually felt sorry for the little guy because he was actually funny and I liked him. God damn it! Why does everyone I like die?
My brother my brother has the same issue. Like, every character he dictates his favorite dies. And only he has only now figured out the formula of movies and why his characters keep dying.
So, anyway, they lose the cargo. It's then revealed that they were stealing the cargo specifically because, by the way, the cargo they tried to steal, this fuel, is so volatile and unstable that the second it impacts against the mountain, the mountain implodes. Like it's just gone. That is, again, why haven't we used these to make bombs? I don't know.
It's like you said, they're unstable and volatile.
Yeah, just but we can't make them into bombs. We can't make them into projectiles for war. Come on, guys, priorities. Jesus Christ!
By
Again.
the way, chat. I noticed this like in the feed. Like, if the game is choppy, please let me know. Because I noticed I was kind of doing it's kind of slowing down when I was showing that image.
Frame rate. Yeah, frame rate was like going mental.
Just please stop sending me images to share, because I think that might be a problem.
All right. And that was all I wanted to share. Like everything else is just no.
All right. Should I remove spoiler duck?
I'm still. There's still a lot to go through. Like I'm gonna ruin this movie, because no one needs to come see this.
Okay, go ahead.
That is how bad it is. Anyway, so they lose the cargo. They then come to an organization called Crimson Dawn, which is kind of like the mafia, but a bit more savage. I don't know. Like it said, they do horrible shit to people, and I'm like, okay, how's that any worse than the Huts, who will literally feed you to an animal?
And even feed each other to animals just because they don't agree.
Yeah, exactly my point. My only thought here is, how are you any worse than these other guys?
And these like you giant fat slugs.
Worms from hell, yeah. Just saying. But I do have to bring this up, just a slight side note, by the way. You do apparently, one of the ways Huts kill people is by swallowing them.
Yeah, you've told me this before.
Inside. No, I'm just putting it out there for everyone. They eat people.
Yeah.
They flat out eat people.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of question why no one's attempted to chestbuster one like that. That kind of seems a little stupid.
Because Xenos don't exist in Star Wars.
No, I'm just saying, it's like, if you get swallowed by one, just cut your way out. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of stupid for them to do this. It's like, oh, I'm going to swallow you. Okay, I'm just going to grab your heart then. Fuck. Anyway. So, Solo comes to this guy's ship. He then, it turns out his girlfriend works for this group. They actually have her wrist is branded with their symbol, which is kind of fucked up. So then they in order to save themselves, they decide to steal the raw version of this fuel from one of this Crimson Sun's allies, the Pikes. And the idea is to steal it, fly it to a refinery, get it refined, then bring it back without being noticed. So that happens. They then meet with Lando, and it turns out that you know how how Lando is said to be like this suave guy who always wins games of cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he cheats.
I wouldn't put it past him, really.
Here's the thing: in the movie, he manages. Solo attempts to win the Falcon. He tries to win the Falcon off of Lando fair and square, right? But during the car scene, there's a moment where they show you this weird device on Lando's wrist, and it's then that you realize that he's cheating. He has a literal ace up his sleeve. So if anyone ever plays with the fucker, just shoot him. Just shoot him and take the money.
Han shot first. That is still an argument that is going on today. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing how people can be so stupid about this. Anyway, so they have no choice but to bring Solo.
Bill. Thank you, Bill, for that beautiful imagery.
So they have no choice but to bring Lando into the group. Oh, by the way, I need to mention this because this has something to do with the movie. Denny's, the restaurant. Hang on.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they had promotional cups showing off some of the characters for the movie. and one of them is a lobster. And his name was his name was Thurn Scissor Punch. Scissor Punch.
What the heck?
Just why? This is retarded, and I know Star Wars hasn't had the greatest track record when it comes to names, you know, but seriously, we couldn't come up with anything like call him Lobster in Latin or something like that. No.
Okay. Bill's only comment and input to this. What the fuck is this train wreck?
It is called When Idiots Are in Charge of Movies.
It's it's called the backstory we didn't need.
Or didn't care.
Or didn't want.
Literally. So, it turns out Londo also has a co-pilot, which is a droid.
I was so hoping there was that little guy that looked like Mario.
No.
Damn.
So this droid, and I have to mention this, everyone behind this movie, you know, the creators and everything, have pushed to say that this is the first female droid in Star Wars. No, she's not.
She's absolutely not. And I'm the one who hates watching these, but had to watch them every single day.
We have episode 1. We have the Chrome C-3PO.
Yeah.
Is a female. Episode 2, the waitress.
Yeah.
Throughout the Clone Wars, multiple female droids and R2-D2's girlfriend.
I forgot he had a girlfriend.
He has one. It's hilarious. It's a little pink R2. It's adorable. But all this is not the first female droid. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
It's like when Frozen came out, everybody started like going like Frozen is the first movie to have sister relationship problems. Lilo and Stitch.
It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Frozen is the first one to really highlight grief. Big Hero 6. Lion King. All of these movies that came well before Frozen.
Exactly. Oh, it gets better. So, you know how people, and this is not a jab at the people who can draw or try to like make things. I'm not making fun of you guys, but you know those people that make OCs, you know?
Yep.
And they try to make them really amazing.
Yep.
And cool and all that stuff, and it's just bullshit.
Are you the ones that are like spontaneously super powerful and more powerful than everybody else?
No, just overly designed, but very clearly the main protagonist of that specific series changed slightly, you know?
Yeah,
that kind of bullshit.
yeah, I've seen those. What the hell?
Yeah, this. I want to show this. I want to show the droid off because actually people need to see this. They really do in order to understand where I'm coming from with this. I hate doing this, by the way. I'm sorry. I promise. After this, I promise no more of this bullshit. I promise.
Okay.
But yeah.
That is all leg.
That is literally, she's all leg.
Why is she doing a sexy pose?
'Cause she can. So,
yes, I will save over the image and share it. It's a good thing I'm on the map screen of Warframe right now.
You know, people have actually compared her to the Power Rangers robot.
Alpha.
Yep. And I can't say...
I don't understand people's dislike of the new movie.
Again, we could go into that another time. Like, I can
like,
see how...
I don't understand a lot of things. It's just how my brain works. I don't understand how people can be mean, how they can be cruel. I don't understand how people can hate a movie that had a lot of work put in, a lot of care put in, and was actually a lot better than, say, sci-fi's movies.
Some nostalgia is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
So this droid, she is called L337. We're just getting creative with these robot names, aren't we? By the way, she's actually green. She actually has a. There's a person wearing that. It's actually the person is green screen, but the pieces are real.
No wonder
Which
she's doing the
that's
sexy
very.
pose.
Yeah, but I find it very impressive. It's like, good job. We're coming along with technology. So she is built out of the following: protocol and astromech parts.
Hmm.
You can tell the legs, the head. The chest is an R2 unit.
Oh
Can't
wow, I
see it
didn't.
really well, but it's there.
Hmm.
Yeah, but apparently now here's the thing. She is an advocate for droid rights.
Oh god.
Hang on, I have no problem with this. Because to be fair, in Star Wars, droids are, they are viewed very poorly. With the whole droid rebellion, the CIS. You know,
Yep.
so that kind of dislike and distrust of droids is understandable. But at the same time, she goes about it horribly, like very, very, very badly. For
Not really all
example,
that surprised.
no, well, for example, in the when they go to get Lando, there is a droid pit fight going on between two uglies, I like to call them. They're basically built out of like gunk droid parts and given little arms to bash each other. And she's preaching to everyone. She's saying this isn't right. This isn't, you guys really shouldn't be doing that. She even tries to talk to one of the droids to get them to stop fighting. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, that I can understand where she's coming from with this,
Mm-hmm.
It isn't right. It isn't right to make two things fight each other if they're not, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If it's not, yeah. But of course, the manager is a bastard about it. He throws a severed droid hand at her and tells her to fuck off. It's actually kind of fucked up, if you ask me, but whatever. She then attempts to kill said man, and Lando has to tell her, "Don't do that. Just don't." So of course she doesn't, but she's very pissed off.
The infestation.
When they get the Falcon and everything,
Let's clear it out.
this is where her character just becomes very, very boring. She is very. She doesn't hate organics, but she has a very low opinion of them. It's very obvious. She only likes Lando because, well, it's Lando, apparently. And apparently, he wants to fuck the droid.
What?
Yep. It's there. It's shown throughout the film. Well, it's not explicit. It's very, it's very tongue-in-cheekish. But it's heavily implied that he's trying to have a more physical relationship with the droid. I mean, hey, you won't see me complaining. If you want to love something, go ahead. Just don't make it weird, please. It's like if you want to fuck the toaster, go ahead and fuck the toaster. Just don't do it in front of everyone.
And don't turn the toaster on.
Exactly. So anyway.
That's the best way to put it. Don't turn it on.
Exactly. So they fly. Once the crew is assembled, the plan is to fly into the fly into the Pike's base of operations and sell quote unquote sell sell Han and Chewie as slaves to the Pikes. That's the point, and the idea is to get them inside so they can get to the area which has the fuel, and then get it out quickly. This is where things go a little bit to shit, because, well, first off, let me explain this, by the way. The mentor figure, you know that costume Lando wears in episode 6?
Where he's infiltrating the huts, yeah.
Yeah, apparently that wasn't some uniform he gets off a guard the whole time, because the mentor figure wears it for this mission. I'm sorry, what?
Hmm?
It's it doesn't look right because the moment he steps out, it looks like the girl, Solo's girlfriend, who comes in this mission is wearing this like weird regal gown kind of thing, right? Or sorry, this like dress with a cape. And then this guy comes out wearing the infiltrator look, and he looks so out of place. Like seriously, it's like the fuck is this?
Well, Chewie's wearing a sash at all times, even to a ceremony.
Yeah, but that's Chewie. And apparently, Wookiees are always supposed to be naked.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, that's Chewie's excuse for the sash, but what about this guy? Hmm? We couldn't figure something else to do? We couldn't just give him another hat? No, we had to go with the iconic... Okay, fine. Fine, whatever. So they get through. They they need a distraction to do all this. So L3 starts a droid revolt inside the facility. Let me say this as well. This was not part of the plan. She just did this, and then throughout the whole thing, she acts like she planned this. Like bullshit, you planned this. Bullshit. And it gets worse, by the way. So even when they get the fuel, oh, by the way, I should also mention there's actually a scene where there are other Wookiees in it. And the moment that Chewie sees them, he actually has a bit of a conflicting situation. Like the point is, as the what's the word? The riot is happening, you know, there's a group of Wookiees being like kind of, you know, like Wookiees are very dangerous, so they're shocking them and trying to keep them at bay. And then Chewie has an opportunity to help them, but he's kind of loyal to Han. He doesn't want to abandon his new friend. So then Han says, "Go ahead. You know, I hope to see you, you know, soon, or you know, good luck." And it's amazing. Like seeing the Wookiees actually fight is amazing. They are brutal yet efficient.
Yeah, we see
And I
them
was happy.
fight in like the third episode.
Yeah, but that was like with conventional guns and everything. No, in this movie they are throwing themselves at the guards and like tossing them like like they were toys. Like it's this weird mixture of bestial, but also, you know, kind of like noble. You know, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain. And of course, when Han is trying to get all the fuel out, by the way, he's taking 13 canisters of highly explosive fuel out on a little push cart during a riot. It's funny, and he's actually struggling to get it out because it's so fucking heavy. And there's a moment that the guards are on top of him, and so, you know, kindness begets kindness. The Wookiees come to his aid, and Chewie's actually pushing the cart with him now. And it's like what, 5 Wookiees? It's very cool. Actually, one scene I actually did laugh at was when Han looks at the nearest Wookiee, he says, "Hi, I'm Chewbacca's friend." You know, like trying to, because he's still in kind of like the slaver uniform, so he's trying to like make it a point that I'm not with them. And then the Wookiee nods to him and just pats his head, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Kind of weird too, but whatever. So they all get out, they're all getting the fuel, and then L3 decides to... by the way, this is a huge firefight as they get out. And she's standing out there telling everyone to keep fighting, that, you know, rebellion, 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 just shouting it at the top of her mechanical lungs. And then she gets shot. Her whole accumulated time in this movie is like 10 minutes worth of screen time. Actually, no, like 20 minutes of screen time. My mistake.
Here's
And,
the thing: do you feel anything for her?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. And the movie tries very hard to make you feel for L3. But it doesn't work. Lando obviously rushes out to bring her back in. He can only get her upper half going. He gets shot. Solo actually runs out to help his friend, and he shoots behind him, trying to get them out. And then, they can't get through. They're pinned down, and then the Wookiees and Chewie are at the Falcon's like ramp. They're trying to keep it protected from both the slaves that are trying to get on board and keep the Pikes from getting overwhelming them. And again, there's this moment of crisis for Chewie, which is basically, do I go to save my friend now, or do I stay with my own? And then one of the Wookiees says something, and is basically like Chewie saying, "Excuse me one moment, I have to deal with something. Give me a second."
Oh, okay. I thought that was actually part of what you were doing. Okay. Okay.
Sorry about that. Someone was asking me something.
Oh, that's all right.
So, like I was saying, there's a moment where he has to decide whether to go out and help Han. One of the Wookiees says something to him, and Chewie nods, in understanding. And the one scene, something that honestly brought me to a sense of joy and nearly to a tear, was watching this one, both Chewie and this very obviously young Wookiee, putting their foreheads together as if to say goodbye, and then running out to go help Han. That felt amazing,
Mm-hmm.
It's a subtle thing like that, and I'm like, why can't this movie be more about this? Why can't we have a Chewie movie, for God's sakes? Give the 120-year-old a fucking movie. Yeah, he's 120, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Well, apparently Wookiees can live up to 400 years.
Well, yeah, I knew that one already.
I didn't. Go figure.
Yep.
But so they get away from the planet, which, by the way, it's the planet is like in the center of this horrible maelstrom of galactic clouds. Like, it's really weird. It's kind of why the Kessel is so dangerous to go to. And as they're trying to get out of the planet, guess who shows up?
Who?
The Empire.
Oh boy.
Well, you can imagine why. A certain droid wouldn't shut up about a certain word that would get the Empire's attention. Rebellion. Over and over again. Plus the riot, so you can imagine.
Yep.
Good. However, credit where credit's due, Han does shine through. He actually manages to outmaneuver the TIE fighters that come after them in the maelstrom. He does some impressive flying. They can't save L3, so they hook her brain into the Falcon itself. But it's not her anymore. It's the Falcon now. So there's that, which kind of makes C-3PO's line in Episode 5 make a bit more sense. I don't know where your ship learned to communicate, but it has the most peculiar dialect. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Plus, it also makes sense whenever Han said, I need you to talk with the Falcon. It is a sentient creature, more or less. I'm fine with this. So they get away. They manage to do the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Joy. The fuel almost explodes. They get to the planet to refine it. And then Enfy's nest arrives. And you think, oh shit, this big climactic battle. By the way, the ship, you know how the Falcon looks in Episode 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently all that damage and appearance was all due to the Kessel Run. It wasn't years and years of use, or no, it was just this one event. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? So Han never put new plating or new coat in 20 years. Is this what we're supposed to believe? Even the most dedicated man to his car will not keep, if his car gets ruined, he won't spend time not fixing the fucking thing.
Well, obviously he fixed some internal stuff, but he didn't fix the external stuff.
Exactly. It's just Why?
I don't know. Oops, I
So-
clicked the wrong thing.
So Lando gets pissed with him. He flies away saying, I never want to see you again because, he kind of ruined his ship. So he flies away. Enfi's nest then arrives, and you'd think, oh, this is going to be some amazing fight because Enfi has always been like they appeared at the beginning of the film, and now they're here. They're going to be their rival. No, Enfi removes the helmet and reveals he's actually a girl, a very young child who apparently is commanding this whole group because rebel, it turns out.
Wow.
So apparently her whole shtick and her entire gang shtick is we used to be on this planet, then the Crimson Dawn came, mined out the planet and sold the resources, and then when people rebelled against them, they attacked and brutalized them. And I joined up because my mother used to be Enfi's nest, and she died. Now I take up the mantle. And it's so contrived. Like this whole time, I was looking at this and I was so bored. And it's like I feel sorry for this girl, but at the same time, I don't fucking care. I liked you better when you were just a mask. You were badass, you were interesting, you were intimidating. Now you're just
Bleh.
exactly. You're just boring black girl now. Yay. That's another thing I need to also mention. This movie is very human centerized. There are very few aliens, and I don't like the feeling.
Nope, not at all.
No, it's like you'll see maybe 2 Twi'leks in the entire film, and I'm like,
I forget which ones those are.
Tailheads.
Oh, them, yeah.
Yeah, Rev uses racial slur to describe entire species.
Well, it helps. I may have watched like the early movies over and over again because my mom is a nutcase. But that doesn't mean that I know all the names of the critters, nor do I care.
Yeah, fair enough. I just still find it funny that to help describe it, we have to use a racial term. Unbelievable. But anyway, so these guys basically rebelled against Crimson Sun, and they want to take out the Crimson Sun because of what they've done to their homeworlds. But this whole time, my only thought was, doesn't this sound like something the Empire does? Do criminal organizations really go planet to planet, pilfering resources? Wouldn't it be cheaper just to set up one base on one planet, and just kind of work from there? You know? It doesn't make any sense. This feels like something the Empire should be doing, not a fucking, not what is effectively the Mafia. I mean, it's like, how do I explain it? It's like imagine if the Mafia goes out and starts setting up military bases across Cuba. It's the same kind of thing. It's this weird feeling that the movie feels like it was rewritten to do something different and not in a good sense. So then Solo decides to betray his employer because this isn't the right thing to do. And I'm sorry, but fucking seriously?
Can I
This is
remove
Han Solo.
spoiler duck now?
Yeah, go for it if you want. Like it's just the movie comes to this snail's pace and this weird righteousness note where Solo decides to betray his employer and help his girlfriend kill him. And it turns out his mentor betrayed him because he wants to start his own life free from being under the thumb of every person. So he kills him. And then it's hinted that future adventures await, and it turns out that Enfi and her people might be the reason the rebellion's a thing. I'm sorry, what? So the rebellion was started by a group of fringe crazy pirates.
Well, let's be honest. Like in real life, things like that have happened.
Oh no, I completely understand that. I'm not pissed off because of that. I understand that, and I'm actually okay with it. But I'm talking more from the point of view of Star Wars. The rebellion was started because governments and individuals of said governments were being basically oppressed by an imperial regime, and they wanted to restore independency. This makes Star Wars seem more like, you know, it feels like it's kind of glorifying terrorism a bit more.
Boo.
And yeah, that's not a good thing. And it's not only that. By the way, we have a cameo by Darth Maul. He makes an appearance in the movie.
What?
Yeah. Apparently, he started Crimson Dawn. What? So, 15 or so years before Episode 4 happens, somehow Darth Maul started up a new criminal empire after his previous one was destroyed during the Clone Wars. And somehow, during Rebels, the TV show which is supposed to lead into Episode 4, he lost Crimson Dawn? What? It's just so much the fuck. That's the only way.
Definitely a train wreck.
It is a colossal train wreck, and this entire time I've been watching this. By the way, the movie was boring. I was so bored. I watched other things while things were happening. That is how bored I was. I did not care to keep watching or pay attention to anything.
Oh, you did a thing where your brain cut down. Instead of focusing on the story, you're focusing on whatever's in the background or something.
Exactly. Yes. The only times I went back in the movie was if the scene changed or something interesting occurred. But that happened maybe 3 times.
And that was it.
The interesting part, I mean. Everything of this movie reeks of rewrites, corporate interfering, and amazingly, not that much agenda pushing, which I'm happy. I'm actually happy there was no political agendas hidden in my Star Wars movie. Well, though that shouldn't be a thing.
Well, if I remember correctly of the original Star Wars, it was all based on a war. Like,
no, Star Wars takes a lot of the iconography from World War II. Like, actually, if you look at the Imperial weapons specifically, they're actually remodeled World War II guns.
Oh my god, I got sentience on my ass right now. Why did I trigger? Ah, shit.
But like I said, it's just this movie didn't need to happen. This movie shouldn't have happened. It should have been canceled the second it was pitched, and all this should never have happened.
Well, actually, as a concept, it should have happened, but with what they got now, it probably should have been what was originally suggested.
This is what it should have been a series. It should have been like maybe a live action show that might have gone for only 10 episodes, and that was it. Because that's all the content there is in this movie. It's literally just a one season's worth of episodes smushed down into an hour movie. That's it. And that's what it feels like throughout this whole thing. And I can't shake that feeling. I mean, I'm happy it doesn't rehash a lot of things. You know, I'm glad that not all the same ships reappear, or dumb shit like that happens. I'm happy about it. I am. But everything else in this movie, I just can't get behind. Again, it's the human central cast irks me to
It's
no
it's
end.
Star Wars. It should have aliens. It should have more than just fucking Wookiees. Like, yeah, we love Wookiees, but come on.
Agreed. And it just, like I said, this is the thing about Star Wars, and I've been saying this for years now. Star Wars movies need to have non-humans as the stars as well, like actual aliens of this alien universe. That's what it needs, flat out.
I'm really pissing this sentient off.
And the fact that we don't get that, we don't get a Twi'lek or Taruk lead character in a movie, nothing like that. It's always humans, and there's such an abundance of humans in this movie that it makes, you know how people say, oh, it's whitewashing or blackwashing or that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's human washing. That's what this movie feels like. I'm like, no.
I
In
have
fact, hang
noticed,
on.
and this was like from the Clone Wars TV series, the only time we ever had like an alien hero for an episode, that hero died because they were an idiot.
Yeah, but again, the series actually, but for as much dumbness as some moments in the series had, there were some amazing stories in that. In fact, some stories that could be their own movies. Again, actually, I think people, as you know, as much as I said that we didn't need a Han Solo movie, I actually believe we should have had an Ahsoka story, like a movie around what she does between Episode 3 and Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's interesting. She's actually freaking interesting.
Surprise, surprise!
The alien is the interesting one. Fucking hell. And not only that, we also... God. Like, we could have movies that tell even new characters, like the very well done Star Wars Rogue One. That had a human-centered cast, but everyone part and the story was well written. Yeah, everyone died, but at the same time, there was weight, there was gravity, there were fucking stakes. This movie has nothing. In fact, hold on, let me think. Off the top of my head, I can flat out say there were only 10 aliens in this entire movie.
Not
Just 10.
including the Wookiees.
Not including the Wookiees. Yeah. And this whole time...
That's just gonna be the problem. Like, this movie was awful, except for the Wookiees. This movie needs to do better, except for the Wookiees.
Except for...
It's like, Wookiees are great and all, but we need something more.
Than just Wookiees.
Because again, we may love Wookiees, but this is dumb.
Yes. Like, we didn't need an origin stories for how Solo became Solo. Maybe we could have had and I know we just said not everything needs to be about Wookiees, but maybe we should have had a movie about Chewbacca himself, like how things, what he did. Exactly.
I remember there was I think it was its own film, or it was like a special bit about one of the films where we get to see Chewbacca's family.
Oh, that was the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah.
That was a terrible movie. I mean, like I said, if they made a Chewbacca movie, there's potential. Because he did fight in the Clone Wars. There is a precedent for him to rise and struggle and all that stuff. Just saying, it could be a thing. We could have an amazing, an amazing story like that. But of course, they're not going to do that because, Han Solo Obi-Wan, what else? Leia. All these characters are more marketable, so we'll make stories about them and draw legions of stupid fanboys. And then people get pissed off, like me. Like I said, there is potential in these films, but we need.
I'm trying to deal with these sentients right now. They're getting on my nerves.
No, it's all right. But like I said, there is potential in these movies. We just need to, first off, get rid of that idiot in Lucasfilms. And you know who you are, by the way. And get someone who knows what the hell they're doing on Star Wars. Get an actual fan of the series and not someone who hates it and only enjoys it because they can put shit in that they couldn't do on their own. You know who you are, you glorified secretary.
Okay.
It's like, insert Rev Rage here.
What we need is like a fan that respects the series, not a fanfic writer.
Exactly. That's what we need. You know what? Actually, there's a guy, Dave Filoni, guy behind Clone Wars, guy behind Rebels. He loves this stuff. He actually goes through many of the old canon books, goes through them, and then, you know, tries to implement these old stories, make them new again, and reintroduce them into the series. He respects it so much that he goes through this crap. And yet he's not the one in charge of LucasArts. He's only relegated to animation director. The hell? You know, he actually, you know what's funny? He knows how this, he knows how bad things are going. You know what he did? And I kid you not. He introduced a backdoor for Star Wars. A literal way for the series to survive. In the last episode of Rebels, he introduced the concept of time travel for the series. Something that up until that moment never happened. And something that can actually affect the galaxy, literally change events. And the big thing is, the main protagonist of that series actually saves Ahsoka from being killed by Vader. He reaches through the portal and pulls her to safety, effectively changing her fate so she can live. So if this can happen, this means that everything that's happened so far in Star Wars can be fixed.
I'm throwing in my 2 cents. I hate time gimmicks. I hate that so much.
I agree. I am
not a fan of time travel. I'm not a fan of like a butterfly effect because of time travel. I hate it.
But what about time splitters?
It's not very creative at all.
But what about time splitters though?
Okay, that one I'll give credit to, because that's time fuckery in a different way. Like they took the concept and then they flipped it over.
Made it fun.
Yes, exactly. There's no like there's no person saying I'm going to mess with this and everything is going to be A-okay. No, they know that what they're doing could very much ruin it, but they do it anyway.
Exactly. So, but this is the thing, especially with Rebels. Effectively, Dave sees the destruction that the LucasArts head and her cronies are doing. He knows that this path will lead to destruction. So he has given us a lifeboat. He has given us a way to, if things get so bad and terrible to the point where the quote-unquote present is so bad, we can go back and stop it. And he was incredibly clever in adding this in, because now it's part of canon. And now you can't retcon that, because then it spirals out into this mass of issues and problems, and you know what I mean, right? If you try to retcon time travel as not being a thing, you create a paradox. And you can't do that because then people get pissed off and confused. So the end result becomes, well, we have our plot point and how to escape this.
You didn't shoot yourself in the foot. A guy who actually knows what they're doing shot you in the foot.
Yes. Like I said, the man has created a way for us to escape and recreate Star
Yay.
Wars as we need it to be. Free from this corruption, free from this agenda pushing nonsense, and free to make
Not
it once
100%
again.
free from Disney, though.
Actually, believe it or not, there are subtle talks in the background that Disney is regretting their decision. And there is rumors, just rumors, that Disney might be dropping the Star Wars IP.
Yay!
They've fucked it up so badly now that yeah, no. We're gonna stop here. Again, they're hemorrhaging money. That's the one thing you can't do with Disney. Is hemorrhage money.
That's why Frozen got sold, was pumped up to the point of being disgusting.
Exactly.
Money.
Money. We have to have monies. Just rolling around saying that. Yes. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. You took an entire hour.
I'm sorry. I'm so full of.
That's why I kept asking, like, can I remove spoiler duck? Because you were going and going and going for an entire hour.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I get pissed.
I can tell.
Go into serious motor mouth mode. Anyway, I guess we should now actually get into our topics then.
We might need to take
sorry.
we might need to take a break.
Oh god, yeah, all right.
Well, we can talk about a topic because I still need to get to extraction before we take a break.
Yeah, I can see you running around as Limbo right now, with a bunch of items around you.
My carrier is dead, so.
All right, so today we've got only a few topics. We have Misty the robot, a personal robot that you can customize and could lead to a possible robot butler. Loot boxes and how they ruin games. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
And Ratchet and Clank, a look back at the series and what we liked about it.
Ooh. I saw that. I started getting excited.
So I guess we should. I guess we can cover Misty real quick, since there isn't a lot behind her.
Okay. Crap.
So Misty the robot is a small kind of android android as in like phone.
As in Alexa.
No. Let me hold on. It's like Wall-E. And I realized what I said, and now I'm gonna live to regret it.
That is my favorite Disney movie.
Well, the body type is kind of the same: box body, tread feet, small square head. Obviously, no compactor mode on it.
Oh crap! That's a Bursa.
Yeah, kinda. So, basically, Misty is this robot which encourages people to use code, plugging it into her head, and giving her or programming into her brain very specific commands. Now, these aren't just like commands like go here, go there, roll around. No, this is more like Misty, go open fridge. And if you give her arms, she can do that. So not as well as you might not as well as you might hope, obviously. It is a very small, well, not very small, but it is still a small robot, so it won't be able to open the fridge properly. But that's basically what she can do. And it's encouraging people, or she's encouraging people, to really build and create an AI out of her.
Have you ever seen the commercials for those toys like Connects and stuff like that, where you like kids are able to build their own little robot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of right now.
Well, she's not quite like that. It's obvious
She's not a toy.
Yeah, she's built. She's being built and designed specifically to be a person house and something you can use in the office. Like she can, if you program her to be like a secretary, she can drive around and record conversations for you or record messages and then come back. That's basically what she's meant to be. So far, Misty has been, at least as far as I can tell, the work on Misty is still very much in the early stages. Like she's still being, designed, programmed, and everything, and she's still being worked on. I believe you can get one, but she's not like mass produced. Not yet, anyways. It's still very obviously like, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God. It's like this is a company that can so many at any given time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. She's also very niche, I suppose. Like if you don't have a use for a person, it's twofold. If you don't have a use for, or if you don't have a use,
you cut out.
Sorry.
If you don't have a use
she's
for
a little robot, or if you don't have any programming skills,
then not worth getting.
Exactly. Like this isn't like some kid's toy you can buy off the shelf and like use rudimentary.
Thank you, Bill. I'm against robot butlers.
Oh, fuck that. We're getting robot butlers. This is gonna be a thing, damn it.
With Bill, he takes the Skynet thing personal.
This is why you build dumb AI.
This is no, because then you're gonna get Wheatley. Do we really want Wheatley?
No. Dumb
Actually,
AI
no. I just realized what I said. A lot of people will want Wheatley.
No. Dumb AI means an AI that has a limited personality and intelligence.
A limited function, basically.
Exactly.
Thought process.
And like like in Mass Effect, there are VIs, and these are like customized assistants. And that's
Who's arguing? It's not just the Skynet. Oh boy, what else? Do I really? You have issues with like the blue? Yeah. It's mostly paranoia, from what I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it's still something that you can. Like I said, it is very early robotic, like physical robotic butler AI systems. Still early. It's still there's no danger of it turning on us anytime soon. And again, there is no intelligence beyond what you type into its command. Like there is no personality.exe upload thing. It is very much still a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's an adult toy. That's the best way I can look at it.
By the way, I don't really know why I'm bringing this up. Has anybody ever seen the knife-wielding tentacle?
Yes, I have.
It actually had a birthday cake and everything. This is amazing.
I love the whirring.
I just like how the guy is so calm during it all.
Well, this is why I think he's so calm. I think he made it in what is it? He made it and then gave it like a very limited battery. So he's sure that it'll eventually just burn itself out.
Oh gods, I love that thing.
Yeah, well, what's the word? I'm okay with it mostly because, well, that's just what I think it is. But anyway, I'm interested to see where this what is it? I'm interested to see where Misty goes. You know, I mean, if this is the future to building artificial intelligences and actual robot assistants, then I'm for it. Now, if we get a Detroit to human situation, then, fuck it, just start again.
I got people walking around upstairs. In fact, I know whose footsteps those are. Those are my brothers. Sorry if you guys are hearing that. It's getting very annoying.
Yeah, I could hear from here.
My brother likes to stomp when he walks. But, there he goes. We are actually very close to having, we have AI that sometimes we think they're super intelligent. It's just they were programmed to be ready for certain scenarios. Like, my favorite robot has to be the one that turns itself off and then, gets really angry with you every time you keep turning it back on.
It's like, fuck off.
The video is a plush fox with a robotic arm that will actually point at the button and even pop up 2 seconds after it had already turned itself off, I am watching you kind of gestures. And that's really well done. But still, I think that's generally as far as AI is going to go. It's programmed for scenarios, and that's it.
Yeah, well, there's also you also have what was it? The Boston Robotics, I think it's called.
Okay, Boston Robotics is hilarious. I love their little videos.
Time to get the fucking donuts.
I just like that these are people that are in engineering. They make robots for for scientific reasons, for assembly reasons, for really very important reasons. And we got robots running through fields with love songs. those are the videos we see from them.
Exactly. And again, they've built, just like you said, these are built with certain parameters in mind, situations. However, to this day, we are getting true AI with certain projects out there. And I think it just kind of boils down to trying to design a human mind and then implementing that into program. I think, like I said, the only reason why I don't think we will get AIs anytime soon is because I think the hardware required to do that would have to be the size of a supercomputer.
I think the only smartest AI we have is the one from IMB. But even he is limited. The second he started learning swear words, they had to reset him.
I wonder why.
Because every single analysis that he would give you would have 6 or 7 swear words thrown in willy-nilly. So it wasn't very creative. It was very funny. They even had him on Jeopardy. And he still I think he won, but in the grand scheme of things, he still didn't do very good.
Yeah, well, like I said, plus we also have, like I said, I believe that the future of AIs is coming along faster than we, than we expect. And again, the proof is in, for example, the more modern video games we have. Adaptive. Actually, no. Let me go back actually a few years further. Remember Fear, the first one.
Oh god, so I remember the hype about that game.
No, well, you want to know what's crazy? That game actually has true artificial intelligence behind it.
Mm.
And this isn't scripted NPC code. No, this thing, the game's AI is actually programmed to do 2 things. 1, locate player. 2, kill player. And they actually will. Go ahead.
There's a game, Hello Neighbor, that has really good AI.
Yeah, but this is also another to give to Fear is that the AI also recognizes situational issues. For example, if there is a group of obviously the game can only have 3 of them time. But if the situation is going well for them, you see the AI being physically more aggressive, actually going closer to eliminate the player. But if things are going south, like you've killed maybe 2 of them and the last 2 are, all that's left, they will actually go on the defensive and start going back in the level. One will keep shooting while the other one will fall back, and vice versa. Again, this was from a game years and years and years back. So the question I have to ask is, what happened? Why is it that a game from so long ago has better AI?
And there he goes.
What?
You cut out near the end.
Where exactly?
You started saying AI and then it just stopped. You said the A and that was it.
I said, what happened to AI? We had AI that was so advanced years and years and years ago, and yet now we have AIs that are barely competent.
Now,
fact,
like the only example of an AI coming close to that is, again, Hello Neighbor, and people don't really care because it's a game of breaking and entering, and that's it.
Exactly, and
Like,
not only that, you'll
for context here, with Hello Neighbor, the AI is programmed to learn what the player is doing and adjust to it. They adapt to it. So let's say your character breaks through the window. The AI will understand this and barricade all the windows. You get through the front door, it's going to put bear traps at the door or lock the door. And it'll patrol the yard too. It'll understand what you're doing.
Exactly. So the question I have to ask again is, what happened to AIs back now? I mean, you know what I think it is? I think it's pure laziness.
No, I think it's more on the terms of budget and pricing.
Yeah, but I also believe it's more to do with laziness.
No, it's not. It is money. Making code is awesome. Fixing code is a pain in the ass. You have to pay coders a lot of money to get an AI to do that and work and keep working. It's money, not laziness.
I'm not just talking about. I'm not talking about just the small team. No. I'm talking more along companies and game makers who have this kind of money to throw at the project. Like I'm talking about, the big studios. I'm not talking about the little ones. Studios
even with the big studios.
Yes, but again, I've seen these quarterly reports. I've seen these budgets. I've seen it all, and I can tell you firsthand, they have the money for a lot of this. They choose not to put it in, and because of that, the project. It
also kind of depends on the game.
Okay, granted, I'll give you that with the game as well.
Like, we don't need an AI that is like super intelligent if it's a game for growing crops.
Okay, point taken.
Though I will say if we're gonna go to coding a little bit, I think the best game about code, like for coding miracles, is Undertale.
I was gonna bring up Undertale.
The AI in that game is really smart, and yet the AI is pixels.
And it's so well done that you kind of forget this is in a real world.
I know. And
that's the creepy thing.
It breaks my heart to see what the fandom has done to it. Like, it is a good game. It's just the fandom's full of a bunch of buttheads.
Well, again, we're not lumping every fandom.
Well, yeah, but even Tumblr, even the fandom itself agrees with this kind of stuff. I see it everywhere.
Yes,
it's filled with a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this again. I always champion those who are creative and think up of new situations for the game. I'll always champion those people, like I've said. But it's the lazy ones who rehash the same story and change ever so slightly that kind of irks me. Those are the bad ones, I think. Just saying. Still. like I said, AI can't. I'll be honest. Robotics, we're getting there. We're getting to the point where we are building effective robotic models, plain and simple. However, the what's the word I was gonna say? Hold on, hold on.
It'll come to him.
It's like give it a moment. Like you just hear the dial-up sound from my
To
head.
quote Jeff Foxworthy, it's like a lazy Susan. You just gotta give it time to come around. That was my favorite comedy bit.
Oh, now I remember. We're getting to the point of building effective robot bodies, but we are far behind when it comes to making the brain. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, perfect example of this, and this will be the point I make before going on break. There is someone in Japan who has actually built a nearly full to scale Gundam.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and encourages people to come down, give him a small fee, and get the chance to experience what piloting a mobile suit is like. And I'm like, dude, yes, please. All my money right now. Anyway, I guess we should head on break.
Yep.
All right. So we will see you guys in 20 or so minutes, I suppose.
Just because I can, I'm gonna set my Warframe to start dancing, and have the and have the break music play. So you guys now have time to get up and stretch, get yourself something to eat and drink. We will be back shortly. Just yeah, I really gotta go.
All right, we will see you in a bit. Bye, guys.
I really gotta go to the bathroom, but I gotta set this right. Hold on. Sorry. I have never done this before. I've never done. No, never mind. Just watch that. We will be back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Somebody made life-size Pokemon statues? Whoa. That's nice. Nice. That is really nice. Anyway, yeah, I am back. I have food that might be a bit crunchy, save for one thing. I have fresh pot of coffee, cup. And we will see if Rev joins back. Let's just cross this out. Yeah, now we're back to just me and you. I might turn up the game a little bit. I'll turn up the game till he comes back. So, that was interesting. I can't tell if the game is quiet or loud right now. Leave Captura? Yes, I would. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Fixed. I'm going to close this tab. Hello?
There we go.
Yep, there we go. Hi. I have crunchy food this
Discord can be
time.
such a pain.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
We are now at 2 hours, so I really don't think timing it is really all that helpful.
It's fine.
I actually tried to be quick this time. I made myself a grilled cheese.
Yeah, I guess it's more for my sake to keep me from motor mouthing again.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll just close the timer. So, on to our next two topics: loot boxes and Ratchet and Clank.
Oh boy.
Not together.
No.
Just to be clear, it's like they've not implemented that, so we're good for
Thank
now.
God.
All right, so I guess we should tackle loot boxes then.
I'm going to turn down the game again. Loot boxes. Oh boy, where to begin with that one?
Oh man, well, I guess at its core, where did loot boxes come from? Well, I guess if we want to talk about where they became an infestation that we could not escape, we can go with Overwatch.
Well, no.
I mean, they were in mobile games, that's true. But if we're talking about like...
No. Overwatch did not start this.
No, I'm not saying it started it. I said what made it popular. That's what I meant to say.
Still probably not Overwatch.
I'm getting the list.
Unturned came out before them, and they have loot boxes. TF2 has loot boxes. They came out before it.
Okay, then if you want to go back, fine. TF2 introduced the concept of the loot box. Now, what made that game different from games like, let's say, Overwatch, for example? Well, with TF2, yeah, there were the crates, and yeah, there was the issue of the keys. However, the trading economy made the keys basically obsolete. If people wanted something, you know, they could trade with someone else and vice versa. However, what really began making splashes with loot boxes was Overwatch. And that was because where other games like TF2 would incentive, TF2 had cosmetic items. This is true. However, what made TF2 different from Overwatch is that it wasn't just cosmetics. There were weapons inside the loot boxes that were effectively better than the default loadouts. Now, what makes Overwatch different is that Overwatch is purely cosmetics and sprays. Now, is this, a bad thing in and of itself? No. If it's just cosmetic only, there's no issue with the loot box system. It's something to incentivize continued play and a true sense of feeling like you're rewarded for it. But this is where it kind of stops. If you try to, the only time it becomes an issue is when you lock things out that are important to your game. This is when it starts becoming a major problem. The games I am talking about are Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Shadow of War.
And just like that, we're back to Star Wars.
You see, it was all part of my plan to circle back around to... No. Trust me, it is important. However, the Star Wars talk is important as it did lead to a major impact. So, Overwatch comes out and popularizes the loot box. And then companies like EA, Activision, and so on and so forth began realizing, wait a minute, we could sell an incomplete game and then charge our players extra by adding a bullshit currency system to nickel and dime them. we can print money. That's basically what came into their heads. And from that point, genuine objects of importance for a video game were locked behind the loot box. The perfect example of this is Shadow of War. Have you ever seen the Shadow of War games?
I got past the introduction of Shadow of Mordor and couldn't take it. I didn't care.
Shadow of War is more of Shadow of Mordor, except it has loot boxes in it.
It's like the cooking with Scorpion thing we talked about last time. Chopping! Cake decorating! And chopping!
Exactly. With Shadow of War, the big gimmick of the Shadows of game is basically, fighting enemies or mini bosses, and then getting the opportunity to convert them to fight for you. That was the main gimmick, the main thing that sets this game apart from all the others. But then someone at Warner Brothers had the brilliant idea of locking off that major incentive behind purchasable loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so bad, and I kid you not, that the last level of Shadow of War you could not complete unless you did one of two things. Do an infinite grind, basically, until you level up high enough to take on the final fortress, which was like a level 1,000 or something, like stupidly high level. Or spend money on the market of the loot box for a chance to get better orcs to help you take on the final fortress. And it was so bad that everyone was losing their freaking minds over it. We're talking about people coming out and backlashing the fuck out of this.
I remember,
like flat out.
I remember I mentioned that I was watching a Critical Role do a D&D one-shot based on Shadow of War, and all the voice actors who worked on the project were super excited, like, yay, this is an amazing game. And I'm listening to him just thinking, like, oh no, you poor people, you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Nobody saw this coming. And
It's
in fact,
it's worse for voice actors because they're treated so poorly.
no, you want to know what's hilarious? Warner Brothers was defending this up and down, saying it was a good design choice. Now that they're being forced to remove their loot boxes because they've abandoned the game, and because the countries are actually banning loot boxes and forcing companies to either remove them or be banned from the country entirely, they've gone back and they've reformed the final level. They've actually taken out loot boxes and everything only after the damage is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not the worst of it. We've also got there was another, yeah, Destiny. I'm going to be you know what, I'm gonna tear into these guys because I have no love for them. I used to have respect for the old Bungie, not these lazy, greedy fucks. Not anymore. They
Halo title
want
screen music plays even slower.
these guys are horrible. We are talking about clashes of ego so massive that it destroyed a project, what Destiny was meant to be. Again, I could dedicate an entire hour to going through every single detail that went behind the scenes, what the story was meant to be, so on and so forth, but I won't. I'm actually going to say that for another episode. Rev's behind the scenes stories. But they added the loot boxes in because, and I quote, making content is hard. AKA, we were too lazy and we wanted money now.
That is like a big brand company that has the money, that has the time, and has the skill saying it's really hard to animate a woman. And yet you look at these teeny
Exactly.
tiny companies that animate characters, regardless of what they look like, perfectly. And they're teeny tiny.
Exactly. And like I said, Bungie wants to have pushed the loot boxes to the point where, in fact, they want people to spend money on their market. And you know how they achieve this? No joke. They basically, if you know how, like, whenever you level up in Warframe, you get an extra loadout slot, you know?
Yep.
Well, Destiny has something similar. Every time you level up, you're guaranteed one of their loot boxes, and it's one of those high, you know, not super high level ones, but like important, like the type that you might actually get something amazing out of it. So to stop people from basically wasting their time and leveling up like a traditional MMO, they throttled how much XP you got per quest. Basically, if you do too many quests, the amount of XP you get is less and less. So if you did one and you got 1,000, the next one will probably only give you 500, and lower and lower and lower. And then people found out about it, and Bungie panicked. They issued an apology, and they said, okay, we're going to stop throttling XP. But in the same move, they doubled the XP requirements for other shit. Again, and this is to stop players from avoiding the Eververse, their microtransaction shops. They have done everything in their power to fuck over the player and to force them to get so frustrated and so pissed off with the level and progression and everything, and force them to spend money. That is how bad this is getting.
This is kind of why I prefer Unturn's method. Like,
Go on.
and they actually recently did a little tweak to it that actually made it even better. Like with Unturned, you just play the game. and you will have a chance to get some really cool cosmetic or a box with really cool cosmetics. Like, nothing in their loot crates will improve your game. It'll just make you look a lot better than the other person. So you can flaunt it and be a piece of shit.
That's fine. There's, like I said, I think loot boxes are okay only when it's cosmetic.
Or, this is another thing that they do. When it comes to Unturned, you can actually, like, the game is free to play, and the people that make the maps are not being paid to do so. So you have the option to buy a loot box to support them. It's not forced on your throat. It's encouraged, but it's not forced.
Exactly, and that should only be for small groups like this, not giant AAA companies.
I know, like, AAA companies make a lot of money just for throwing out a game. They don't need loot boxes to make money.
Actually, funny you say that. This actually will go into what finally broke the loot box gravy train for everyone. And
Actually, not
is
that big
Star
of a fan
Wars.
of gravy, but keep going.
You know what I mean, the money train.
Yeah.
And basically, it was when EA attempted to fuck over the Star Wars fan community.
I think we talked about this at one point.
Well, this is just going less into more detail. This broke that camel's back so much to the point where there was such a fan outcry and backlash that it made waves. We are talking like basically throwing a stone into the ocean and suddenly a tsunami just appears. That is what it was. Because, like I said before, it wasn't just cosmetic, it was things that made you stronger and better. Again, there was there was a upgrade you could get for Boba Fett that made you invincible while flying. How fair is that for anyone else?
The only time I would ever agree with a loot box thing where that happens is if it's just one thing. Just one thing, not multiple things. One.
You mean if it's like a one-time use?
No, like, let's say you're playing a game, just because I'm in a dinosaur mood, and it's for a dinosaur game. And the Rex is powerful, the Spinosaurus is powerful, but if you want to support the game because let's say it's free to play, you could buy this new dinosaur that is really powerful, but that's it. It's only one dinosaur. Just one. There are cosmetics. There's like every single cosmetic for every other dinosaur. But the only stat changing thing is this one dino. And that's it. That's the only time I'll ever agree with that.
Yeah, and it was disgusting. We are talking levels of rampant greed so disgusting that the impact, like I said, this whole thing just exploded so much that EA was in full panic mode. We are talking, sweating buckets kind of levels. Not only were they in panic mode, but there was something else that needs to be said. I checked their quarterly earnings, and I found out through one of the representatives who was going to talk to the investors, the real people running the company, that, and quote, the removal of microtransactions and loot boxes in our IP Star Wars Battlefront 2 will not affect profits. This was not, we needed to add this to the game because we needed the money to support causes and people. No, this was, we want more money. We want things to fill our pockets with so we can buy bigger yachts. That was it.
Can't really get the only yacht bigger than A yacht is a fucking cruise ship.
No, I mean like bigger as in like an inch bigger kind of shit.
I know. The
No,
closest you're gonna
exactly. You know
get
what? No,
is a fucking cruise ship.
actually, no. That's it. They want to buy the cruise ship, and then they want to buy a bigger cruise ship.
Oh,
They
good
want to buy
luck with
two.
that. Good luck with that.
No. They want to buy two cruise ships and then merge them like two double-decker buses.
Oh god. No, they wanted to go to Disney and buy their cruise line. Because Disney has a water park on theirs.
Exactly. Who cares if it's at the bottom of the sea? I had two ships in one. You want to know what else is? Things were getting so bad that Disney themselves had to come in and say, okay, if you keep this up, we're going to take the IP from you. And EA didn't want to lose that IP. So they backtracked. They removed the loot boxes. They had to make it like a Warframe style, what's the word I'm looking for here? Progression system. That's how they had to go back. That is how bad it got. And now, because of how much negative press they've gotten, they are abandoning the project in the droves. Actually, you know what? Because, you know what? Let this image right here be a perfect analogy of what EA is doing with Battlefront 2. As of right now. Let this be a perfect analogy.
Alright, let me save the image and share it. Oh my gods. Of course it'd be
It's fit.
Grievous. Of course it'd be Grievous. Like knowing you, like you find like an image that has like Obi-Wan doing the same thing, like, nah, you find one with Grievous. Yes.
Oh, I just realized someone. Sorry, I was looking at the chat right now on YouTube. Hi, Squash Face. I love your snort Burnell icon, my man. Exactly. Time to abandon ship.
I should probably check. Nobody in Twitch chat. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Squashface. I'm more focused on the game and talking in this than I am in the
Yes, and
chat. Also, trying not to crunch my chips too loud.
I'm looking for spicy EA memes, as you can see.
I like
But
that.
yeah,
Like
that
in I'm looking at the feed and I'm seeing Lotus's head is still moving, even though it's paused.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's
this is something weird.
it's weird. Like it's fun. Like you can make your own custom little game out of it. Like what position can you get her face frozen in?
Exactly.
Anyway,
like I was saying, this EA has abandoned Battlefront 3, Battlefront EA. Like right now, the only DLC they're planning to release is a young Han Solo, young Lando, and Princess Leia in her Bush disguise, the bounty hunter disguise she had.
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I love the helmet on that thing, as
I do
stupid as it
too.
looks.
I loved it.
It's I want to wear one. Look like a total creep. Just wear it on the bus, like, yo, what's up?
What you would need, what you would need next is like one of those yo-yo balls that like automatically retracts when you throw it, but it's like silver and sparkly. So like for those who are fans of the Star Wars series will know what that is.
Exactly. Just like, oh, he's got a thermal detonator, and everyone just.
And then you just throw it. It's a yo-yo.
Yes.
It's a cheater yo-yo, but it's still a yo-yo.
Oh, actually, I need to go back for just 1 second to what I was talking about a whole hour about. Just 1 second to the Solo movie. They did a reference to that.
Ugh.
It was stupid. It was basically In the beginning of the movie, Solo actually is working for this weird eel woman who can't be in sunlight, so she's some sort of vampire eel.
Oh, yeah.
And then, well, but he brings out a rock, and he says, because I have this. He brings the rock up in his fist, but moves it really quick, so she doesn't catch it right away, and he does a click noise. And she says, "What is that?" And he says, "It's a thermal detonator. I just armed it." And she says, "No, it isn't. That's a rock. And you just did a clicking noise with your mouth." And he just throws it and breaks a window. Again, kind of clever. I liked it. Still,
Yeah.
there's a precedent for that. But like I said, I like the what's it called? That's the only costume DLC for Battlefront 2. There's nothing else. And that should tell you that EA has abandoned the proper. This is typical to EA. Whenever they get an IP, they devour the creativity like like a parasite, like a lamprey.
We had an entire episode about this. The EA,
Yeah.
I almost said DE.
EA
EA is a cancer, and it doesn't realize it's a cancer, and it thinks it's really powerful and too powerful to ever be shut down.
Exactly. And honestly, but what I meant to say is that this is exactly what they do. And the fact that they've done this to a Star Wars IP, something that, again, is guaranteed to make you money if you treat it right, is telling. It's horrible. And like I said, the fact that they've abandoned it, and I guess we should give EA credit for one thing, and that is, thanks to their rampant greed, the end of loot boxes is nigh. Is that right? Nigh?
Nigh.
Nigh, okay.
Yeah, you had it right.
It's...
The end is nigh.
I'm...
That's how it's used.
Okay, yeah, exactly. The end is nigh for loot boxes in general, thanks to EA being EA.
But that doesn't mean that it's going to completely disappear, because there are still games that use loot boxes, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, but this is the other... but there's something else to keep in mind. As of right now, there are multiple countries. We are talking... okay, but hold on. I'm blanking on one of them. One is Belgium, Ireland, I believe parts of the UK, Australia. They have banned loot boxes in any form of video game because it is gambling. And the thing that you have to keep in mind is that if there is loot boxing in these loot boxes,
the new sport.
You know what?
Step aside kickboxing, it's loot boxing. See how quickly the guy's fist can get into your pouch.
Exactly.
Fist the wallet.
But not only...
Carry on.
The wallet has to be on the ass specifically.
Just carry on.
But these countries have basically set up, a no loot boxes zone. And basically, if you do make loot boxes and put them in your game and try to sell to these countries, you are faced with either total sales ban in that country, meaning you are losing a huge sum of money. Because again, this is a whole country saying, no, fuck you. Or face I think it's $1 billion or something around that range fine for trying to introduce gambling to minors.
Again, this is why I like Unturned. They don't force it on you. Like, you have a chance to find it. Like, yay, that's it. That's it. You find it. Yay. And then you can buy a key to unlock it, and that's it.
And like I said, we know loot boxes aren't going to fade, but we can at least rest well in knowing that loot boxes, with all these things in place, will be less predatory. Mm-hmm. And maybe, just maybe, gone for good. That's all we can hope. Also, Seattle has joined the fight in anti-loot box gambling.
Yes! Sorry, I'm from Seattle. I'm Seattle born. It's where I'm from. That's the only place I call home.
You know what? I want fan art now of Seattle's Jaeger fighting against a loot box kaiju, and the loot box kaiju is defeated, and the Jaeger is standing proud with the text, you know, "We defend our homeland."
In memory of Romeo Blue.
Yes.
It still broke my heart to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, my game froze a little bit. Okay. I had an ex that would play Godzilla. What was it like? It was the early one, like the one for Xbox. It was before Battle for Earth or Save the Earth. Sorry, that's Serious Sam. And there was a cheat you could do where you would shrink really tiny, but then another cheat where you could pick up literally any building you wanted. And one of the dick moves he would do is he would shrink himself really tiny and then pick up the Space Needle.
That's a bit funny. That seems funny.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess that covers our thoughts on loot boxes.
Yep.
All right then. I guess our final topic for the evening, and wrapping this all up, a look back to the Ratchet and Clank games.
Yay! I love Ratchet and Clank. I think we talked about this once before, or something different.
No, I think we've mentioned Ratchet. We never went into details.
Yeah. Oh
so
boy.
For those of to cover this really quick, not the whole thing. I'm just covering something generally.
Let's hope.
The Ratchet and Clank.
Carry on.
The Ratchet and Clank game series, the series as a whole, spans the total of. Hold on.
Are we including the
12.
side off things or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the total is 12 games.
Yep.
Sorry, 13. My mistake. And these games include Ratchet and Clank 1, Ratchet and Clank 2, Going Commando, Ratchet and Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal, Ratchet Deadlock, Size Matters, Secret Agent Clank, Ratchet and Clank Future, Ratchet and Clank Quest for the Booty, Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time, Ratchet and Clank All for One, Ratchet and Clank Full Assault, and Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. Oh, and also that
Reboot
movie, the movie tie-in game. We don't talk about that one.
Granted, it's still good in the sense that it clung to what Ratchet and Clank is. It was just awful.
It plays well. That's all we can say about it. Everything else is shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it now, but I'm trying to nuke the game from it, and it's not working.
Well, I'm watching a napalm try and kill Vonvolus, so that counts.
So, Ratchet and Clank is kind of a series that I admit is a bit dear to my heart, because, well, it was one of the series that kind of introduced me to the PS2 way back in the day. No, excuse me. Well, as we all know by now, my overbearing mother was very much against the concept of me playing fun games. And my father was the one who had the PS2. And one of the games that he actually had, you know, he had a lot of games. His wife's son, not his son, just her son. I guess stepson. Wait, is that right? Stepson?
Yeah, his stepson, yeah.
Okay. Again, I always get confused with this bullshit. So, he had this system, and he did get him a few games just to shut him up. And one of the games was Ratchet and Clank 1. And I remember sitting down and enjoying the ever-loving fuck out of it. Yeah, well, I was having fun. I was laughing at some of the jokes. So fun. I wonder if I can find it. I didn't get a PS2 till way, way later in my life, and eventually,
When you
I kind
evolved
of
from a squidling, like from a little tadpole to
spawned.
to something with arms.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we don't
In
know
my
what it is.
evolution,
It was just something with arms. That's the best way to describe it.
yes, I was just a massive jelly with arms. But I got the PS2, and then
What the? Oh,
some of the games I wound up playing, and was a demo for Ratchet and Clank and the Jack games. Actually, I didn't get to play, Going Commando or Ratchet and Clank 1. I wound up playing the third game in the series because it was the most recent one. I was like, okay, you know what? Why not? Let's give
that's
it
the
a
one
shot.
people remember the most.
I wonder why.
It was really, really good and really, really funny. Like if we're
Maybe.
going with like the YouTube community for this, like YouTube really hit it off with Ratchet and Clank. But there was a Let's Player that is actually still around. He's just been quiet lately. Well, for a very long time. Malnovsky, he played the Jack and Daxter games, the Ratchet and Clank games, all of them. And he showed you how to play it, like where to find certain things, but he never spoiled anything. And it was all really, really good. Like, it was from his Let's Play that I went out and bought the third Ratchet and Clank game and then followed along
All right.
about 2 years after it came out.
Okay, fair enough.
But, like, for
go
me,
ahead.
I used the same ex that would pick up the Space Needle would play Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter all the time, but he had already beaten the game 6 times over. So he would have the cheats on, and it would be even funnier. So, like, the characters in Jack and Daxter would be speaking in high pitch.
Yeah, I remember those. Man. Well, I remember playing Up Your Arsenal so much, and I remember having just a blast, not only just through the story, which was well done, but also the great combat. I was jumping around, flying, shooting, and I was just like, yeah, this feels right to me.
What I noticed about Ratchet and Clank's story, I've never heard of the story before. Ever before. Like with Star Wars,
Really?
going back to Star Wars again. Like in Star Wars, they recycle old concepts and make it new.
Oh yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, they didn't do that with Ratchet and Clank. I have never heard of that story anywhere else.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting little chimera of its own. It's to summarize the story in as quickly as possible. It is about a mechanic who discovers a little robot that crashes on his planet. They work together to. They find out about a plan of some evil villain or some evil corporate guy who's going out there harvesting planets to build a new one. They decide to go find the local superhero. Turns out the superhero is working with the villain to promote
and is
the new
also
planet.
not really much of a hero. He's terrible.
He's an egotist.
Uh,
The fame went to his head.
even before
Literally,
the
in some
fame,
cases.
yeah.
And,
He's an egotistical asshole.
No, butt chin. Literal butt chin.
Butt chin, yes. He's literally got an ass on his face, so he's an asshole.
Yeah. So they go about. They find out he's not as great as they plan. They decide to take matters into their own hands. They defeat the villain, blow up, and save the universe. It's a small yet well done and contained story. Something that at the time not a lot of people were doing. You know what it felt like?
Hmm.
It felt like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly. That's the
episode.
thing about Ratchet and Clank. The entire thing feels like you're watching a cartoon, but you're playing the character.
Exactly. Exactly. Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando kind of takes the Saturday morning cartoon feeling and kind of runs with it for a bit more.
I liked the second one because it's just like, okay, so these guys saved the world, it's like saved the galaxy. What do they do? What are they doing now? They are lazy. They are tired and bored because nobody needs help. Nobody needs a hero.
Well, in this galaxy.
Yeah, because they saved the day. Nobody needs a hero right now.
Exactly.
And of course, the superhero got thrown in jail.
For good reason. Well, no, you know what's funny, actually? He's put in jail not because he helped a villain take chunks of other planets. No, he's thrown in jail for for copyright infringement.
No, it's because he was selling a product that was hurting people and refused to take it down.
Oh, it wasn't just that. It was also like one of the newscasts specifically says he's passing it off as Gadgetron's, official crap. So
Yeah, that too.
that's another. So it is copyright infringement, but also willful neglect of personal health. Yeah.
And
So
also
again,
thinking that he's above the rules.
exactly, and it's that kind of shit that I kind of find a little funny. It's like, okay, he's not busted for this petty shit. The fuck.
I liked that in the third, like at the end of the second one, he's in such big trouble that he becomes like a test subject for the corporation. And we finish off with him testing what is basically like when you're grown up you realize, oh my god, that's a masturbation toy.
Yeah.
But like we finish off with him being the test subject for that, and then in the third one he has them everywhere.
Mass produced and perfected. The fuck.
No, he just loves them too much.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, that's a running gag in the series. We'll get to that in a bit. What I found also equally comical was that in the second game, he's back at it again, except this time it's the equivalent of someone who gets in trouble online and decides, okay, I'm going to create a new, pretend I'm this different person. Boom.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. He decides to, as she said, she impersonates a guy who runs a company and basically, tries to, and I kid you not, he tries to push a dangerous, sentient toy, effectively, onto the public.
Even though the thing is extremely dangerous.
Exactly. It's very clearly aggressive and will kill you.
But no, let's give it to little Timmy.
Exactly. That's my point. It's like, yes, little Timmy getting owned horribly by what is effectively a Furby.
With teeth.
With teeth. And that's what I find funny. In the entire game, no one stops to say, wait a minute, shouldn't we not have these out in public?
Only one person says it, and he's trying to kill her for it.
Yeah, I guess we should also mention that Ratchet and Clank 2 introduces the female version of Ratchet's species.
Lombax.
Yes, Space Fox, yes. I don't know what he's based off of, really.
He's based off of like a lot of animals, like gerbil, cat, a little bit of a kangaroo because of his feet, and obviously humans.
Obviously, but you get what I mean. He's a fuzzy thing.
Yeah.
So they show the female version, and she turns out she's a bit of a klutz. That's one of her
Very
character
much
traits.
a klutz.
But she's a good person. Her heart's in the right place.
But like, this is the thing. Like, there is a bit of an underlying metaphor to it. I'm not the only one who has gone through this kind of stupid thing. Sometimes artists online will have their artwork stolen, and they will call a person out on it, and the person who stole it will try to tear them apart. Will try to tear them down by spreading lies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is essentially what is going on in the second one, but it's Angela who is the only like clear thinking person saying no, these things should not be sold, and the guy is trying to kill her for it.
Exactly. She knows the truth. That sounds creepy. Yeah, and excuse me. And again, Angela was honestly quite fun. Obviously, she wasn't popular enough to stay with the series. That is very obvious. But she was endearing to a lot of people.
Unfortunately, like, the second one brought upon a trend that really got on my nerves about Ratchet and Clank.
That was...
From the second one onward, every game had to have a girl for Ratchet to ogle at, to really like. And it got annoying.
Deadlock didn't have that, I think.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, Deadlock didn't have that. It was Clank who got a new girl. Go figure.
Hey, stop it. There's a grenade right there.
Well, we might as well talk about the third one. Ratchet and Clank 3 sees our dynamic duo leaving the galaxy they're currently in. By the way, the second game takes place in another galaxy.
Far away. Not really.
Yeah, we're just just clarifying slightly. So, Ratchet and Clank 3 focuses on the two going back to their home galaxy when a robot decides to unleash robot genocide on them.
Which, I like that, in the... You know how PS2 games used to have those, books inside? That would explain, like, how the game works and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It actually had a profile on the aliens the evil robot was using. It's like, this guy is committing genocide on anything organic. Doesn't matter that we're organic. It has not clicked with them yet.
No, I know what you're talking about. Tyrannoid. It's like, what was it? I remember reading that it's... No. It's... They lack a sense of irony, so they don't realize what's happening.
Yeah. I am being attacked by vulnerabilists. Get out of here.
Actually, believe it or not, I really like the Tyrannoids. I like them as an enemy, and I like their design.
This is why I always get confused when you guys, like, when you were... I don't know what game you guys were talking about. Like, when you would talk with Liam and Chief about a game, you would say Tyranids. I would just get so confused, because in my head I'm thinking, okay, Ratchet and Clank enemy? What's that gonna do with anything?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just, I'm always so confused.
No. Trust me, don't worry, we probably should have specified the difference. My bad.
Like, whenever you guys would, like, say Tyranids, I would go, okay, are you saying Tyranids or Tyrannoids? Just be clear. And it's every single time. Uh-oh, I just angered more vulnerabilists. God dang it.
So, again, going back to the species, the Tyranids are actually, like I said, I love their design. Tyrannoid, fuck. See, now you've got me confused.
Mission accomplished.
I like them because they're so incredibly creative and cartoonish, but in a way that they still look menacing.
I like that they're simple and yet unique at the same time. They're very simply designed, It's a blob with an eye stalk and a large, large mouth.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And
That is all they are. But it works.
What I love about them is that they're, it's so stupidly cartoonish, yet I love it. And it isn't just that; it's their crude nature that really shines in the games. You know, like you see a lot of them rushing out from cover and just shooting their guns wildly, and then even if they fuck up, they still act like, yeah, I did something. It's like
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, it's like, congratulations, dumbass, you missed twice.
Blarg.
And hell, I'll admit, I even liked the queen. As retardedly stupid as she looked, it was amazing.
Okay, the queen was actually amazing.
What, as a boss fight?
Well, that and in design, like you can see. Oh, god dang it, more Vomvelus. Like when it came to the queen, and you see like a little grunts, you can see the resemblance. Like most games, when they create an alien queen, it bears almost no resemblance to the grunts, except of course xenomorphs.
The species does not resemble the queen, and vice versa.
Yeah, but in Ratchet & Clank, they resemble the queen, albeit less eye stalks and tinier.
Yeah, actually, I've always assumed that the tyrannoid species, like this is what I've always assumed. I always assume little after you have children, and as they grow older, they grow more eyes.
Yep.
That sounds stupid when I say it.
No, there's a lure right there. Go for the lure. There you go.
You know, now, upon saying it out loud, it sounds incredibly stupid.
God dang it.
You know, it's true. Still, despite that, the Tyran, they're a fun enemy race, and to this day I'm quite happy, and I have fond memories of fighting them. Not to mention the main bad guy himself was a treat to interact and fight with.
I love that. This is something that I like when games, they make this bad guy that looks menacing, that does horrifying acts. They're still a bad guy after all. But at the same time, they're dorks.
He's an incredible foil.
They're total idiots. Somehow at the same time. Like, the main bad guy for 3, he is menacing. He is doing awful things. But he's a fanboy. And he has these moments where he'll glitch out just from getting so angry that he'll suddenly start spouting a soap opera. And you have to slap him to get him to work again.
Yeah, I think the joke is that he's supposed to. This quirk specifically is in reference to old video game consoles that would heat up so much that they would keep replaying something over and over again.
That's what I think you even see that come back in Deadlock. Like, you see where he is now, stuck on a meteor. And he is still breaking. And like at the end of Deadlock, he glitches out again, and the soap opera does one of those weird twists that is not like normal soap opera. So it's really, really weird.
Exactly, and that's something else I love about Nefarious. Might as well say his name. That's something I love about Nefarious. It's his design is intimidating, and yet somehow, in Ratchet & Clank 3, they what's the word? They found a happy medium between between silly and menacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his scenes still contain the element of, yeah, I'm a bad guy, what did you expect? But also contains that humor that makes him, so fun to fight. I think one of my one of my favorites in general was the when you finally fight him for the last time in the game.
Oh God, I think I know what you're gonna say.
At the very beginning, when you fight him, and suddenly a cutscene plays when you like bring him down, not even to half health, just a sliver down, right? He goes into this hammy, defeated speech,
I know this. Oh my
and
God.
he tricks Ratchet into lowering his guard.
Like the entire time we've been talking about it, I've been thinking of that scene this whole time. God dang it! There's a lure right behind you. What are you doing?
It cracks me up. It does not fail to make me laugh.
Like quite literally, he's groveling at Ratchet's feet, begging for mercy, and like Ratchet's like believes him, and he's about to say like, "Yeah, that's right. You better learn." And then suddenly the camera cuts to Nefarious floating slowly out the busted open window, going, "Ha ha, sucker!" It's just so funny.
That's my favorite. No. My favorite is just him shouting, "Sucker!" Like, and Ratchet's face of like, I can't believe I fell for that.
He even gets so angry about it. Another like there are so many gags in the games that are so well done. Like one of the running gags that never fails and never ceases to make me smile is the plumber.
Exactly. This is the weird thing
the plumber that breaks the fourth wall. That is the best thing ever.
That's not just it. It's what I love about it is that this guy is very clearly like the games hint that he is not what's the word I'm looking for here? It hints that he's not from this universe. That's the joke. Like he's something that knows what's going on and purposely is being coy about everything. And he just so happens to always have the thing that the heroes need to win the day.
The unfortunate part is he always has you do these very annoying fetch quests.
Well, I guess more so with 2 and 3. The rest wasn't so much.
Yeah, the first one, they didn't throw that at you, but second and third, yeah.
No,
the first one did. It was just a different character doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, so, Nefarious, great villain, loved facing him in 3. Then you get to Deadlock, and
They do it again.
Dark.
It is darker, but they do the humor again. Like the bad guy is bad, but he's funny. Like the only intimidating character is technically his lanky.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's only intimidating because you never get to face him. You never get to see what he can do. He just talks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, he's still funny because nobody else in the universe likes him. Everybody hates him, and yet they keep trying to force it that everybody loves him.
Exactly. It's hilarious. And this is the thing about the bad guy, Gleeman Vox. He is the whole thing, by the way, is a parody of the Fox. Let's get this out of the way. The guy's name, the incredibly terrible programs he runs, and the unreliable newscasts.
And the fact that again, nobody in the universe likes his lanky, but they keep saying everybody loves him. Only one person actually loves him, and she's a fangirl.
She's a robot.
She's a robot who has a crush on him.
Oh God, going back to again, think back to L3.
Ugh.
It's like, don't bang the fucking toaster.
You said that earlier. But I started cracking up thinking of a dick waffle.
Oh God, ow. Well, this is the thing I like about Deadlock. It isn't just the darker like, I'll be honest, the darker atmosphere kind of put me off.
Yes, that's another one, Bill. That's another one.
What do you say?
The most powerful weapon in all the games, doesn't matter how far you go, it's the most powerful, and every single one of them is an acronym. It's the best thing ever. The rhino.
The rip you a new one.
That is literally what it means, and it's awesome.
I love it. I love.
By the way, going back to 3, my last save was right before Nefarious did the whole sucker thing, like the last boss fight. I still need to do the boss fight, but every time I would load it up, it would be 5 minutes, like 5 seconds before that cutscene every single time.
Oh no.
And now I don't have a PS2, so I can't even finish the game.
Alright. But this is what I'm saying. Again, going back to what I was saying before, Deadlock. Normally, you know, I'm a guy who enjoys the dark humor, you know, the darker things. That's generally my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, Deadlock made me feel uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable in the sense of like, you know, very, very uncomfortable. No, I mean uncomfortable in the sense of like, this doesn't seem right, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And the game's darker tone does shine, violently so. Again, the introduction, hero is vaporized right in front of your eyes. The fuck?
And yet, like, during gameplay, it's funny. Still dark, but funny to hear them talk.
Exactly. They tried to paint Ratchet as very, very evil person. And the
to
whole
clarify,
time
the newscasters, fake newscasters in the game, try and paint him as terrible. And you can clearly see they were using crayons when they were doing this. And it's hilarious.
News. Yeah. No, my favorite is the very obviously pasted on
goatee, mustache, sharp teeth, and a monocle.
Yes, my favorite is when they actually cut out a headshot of Ratchet's face and then paste it on some bodybuilder's body to make it look like he did drugs.
I like that there's scientists, like, the most smartest guy in the room believes the lie, and it's hilarious.
Just for a second, by the way, just for a second. Yeah. But like I said, Deadlock was okay. Like I'll admit, I enjoyed the game, I enjoyed some of the play, and I liked the story. And after that, I was ready for the next thing.
Yep.
I guess this is where we can cover the spin-off game. So, for those of you who don't know, Ratchet & Clank didn't just get PS2 games at the time; it also got some PSP games, 2 to be exact.
Yep.
Size matter. Go ahead.
I actually own one of them still.
Oh, which one do you own?
Well, it depends which ones you're gonna say, because I don't know if it's the same one we're thinking.
I was gonna say the games are Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank.
Yeah, I have Secret Agent Clank. I don't really care for it.
Okay, then I guess we should cover.
Well, no, the game itself is good. It's just there's a mechanic in it that I can never do, even to this day, and I hate it.
About. But like I said, we'll cover that one after Size Matters, since it's more closer to the games than it is. Size Matters is a peculiar one, which I think takes place after 3. I think.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, okay. So it takes place after 3, I think it would be more appropriate to say Deadlock, really. Because at the end of 3,
no. Size Matters happens between 2 and 3, and Deadlock happens after 3. Because at the beginning of Deadlock, they have control of the Starship Phoenix, which is in 3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But at the same time, at the end of Deadlock, things are kind of unclear. That it's not sure where they're going. So I think
they're just going home.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. The point is, Size Matters is somewhere there. Historians to this day are still arguing when it took place. Anyway, so the game is basically kind of like a retreading of 2. Ratchet and Clank are basically, relaxing on some beach, not needing to deal with anything really.
Not necessarily bored, but at the same time, they got nothing to do.
like vacation. Like this is very necessary vacation time.
Mm.
However, it all gets kicked off when, you know, a little girl who claims to be doing a report kickstarts them in doing an adventure. And then they discover some odd race of micro aliens.
Technomites. Like a race of aliens that nobody believes is real. They're called technomites. They're tiny.
Well, yeah, and you can imagine why nobody would believe they're real. You can't fucking see them.
Well, you can. They don't show up.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like, yeah.
The thing is, like, when I watched the playthrough of it, every time, like, when they showed the technomite, finally, I thought, oh my god, that's a Protoss from StarCraft. Just
like,
really, really tiny and stupid.
It's like, you're not convincing me anything. I know. You tiny fuck. Literally. But
the game is interesting.
Yeah, well, basically, what I find interesting is not only is the Technomite basically starting a mini war. I realized what I said. They're starting a small. Again, you see, I can't say this without it sounding like I'm making a pun. Ah, fuck it. They're starting a micro war on the galaxy.
Microtransaction to micro war.
Small wars.
But no, like,
Oh, that sounds like
they're trying to start a war with the galaxy, and their solution is to use the actual greatest hero in the galaxy, Ratchet, to do it.
Yeah, they clone an army of Ratchets.
And the cloned Ratchets look ridiculous.
Yeah, there were issues with the cloning process. That is very obvious. I mean, for God, like there's only one normal quote unquote clone, you know, the one that has a little uniform, and everything else is fucked up beyond belief.
There's one that's really, really, what the heck are they doing up there? There's one that's like, I think it's really short or really, really tall, but it's like super speedy. It's got big ears. And then there's another one that's really, really buff.
Yeah, with the gorilla
but
arm.
walks slow. And because they're still so tiny, they're now sold as toys.
I was about to say that. It's something I find both cute and a bit disturbing. All at the same time. It's like, oh, that's adorable. Make sure to get it out of the fucking packaging. Like, as soon as you get it out of there.
I don't think you even package it.
Oh,
like, it's Ratchet and Clank. You don't package things. You put it in a canister and you launch it into space and hope that it lands where it needs to go. That's Ratchet and Clank.
You know what? Space mail. Yes. But that's what I'm... Go ahead.
But, like, this is a prime example of what we said earlier. The entire thing feels like a Saturday cartoon. That's exactly the humor of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and overall, I like I said, I never played it, but I enjoyed how stupid and silly it was. And I'm okay with it. Didn't need to be a AAA, story. It was fine with me.
Why is there so much... There's so many dust particles. What the hell is happening?
I don't know. Then you got Agent Clank.
I have this game. It's actually really, really good. It's just they went with the most annoying mechanic for certain things.
You mean the rhythm game mechanic?
The rhythm game mechanic, which is something I can never, ever do. I do not have good reflexes. I have really bad coordination. I can't do rhythm games. I couldn't even do a tutorial on Guitar Hero.
No. I think someone went through the game to prove a point, and it turned out that the actual rhythm aspect of the game was it was bullshit. Like, there was no way to link up the button presses with the rhythm that was going on.
Wow.
And it was all just... I think that it was all just a matter of just lining up the buttons when you had to push them.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Well, I don't know what to say then.
Okay,
It's
please
like,
tell me
okay.
Please look at the stream and look at how many clouds are poofing up around me.
The
This is
hell is
getting.
going on?
I don't know. They're everywhere.
What
What is
What
this?
did you do to piss off the god of Mars?
I don't know. I've done Sands of Inaro, so it's not that.
It's like, what have you done? And Naros is displeased.
My Inaros is only rank 10 because I've
No,
found that I don't
it's
enjoy playing as him.
No, I am pretty sure that it's fucking Omni Voices and Naros just stalking you. For the dumbest reason, he wants to eat your gun.
Yeah, that was always so. This is the weirdest part of those videos. But anyway, like, Ratchet and Clank, like, Secret Agent Clank, sorry, is a really good game. And I like that they took the concept of something and went with it. They just went with it.
Game. Well,
but they didn't screw it up.
What I honestly assumed flat out was that this whole game, like in universe, Clank is the star of a TV show, which is, it's called Secret Agent Clank. And so when I first heard about it, I just assumed it was just one gigantic, either it's a movie or it's a TV show.
I'm being stalked by angry dust bunnies. Thank you, Bill. Carry on.
What I assumed was that was the case. This giant episode or movie, being filmed, like none of it was real. No, it turns out it is. And that got me to thinking, it's like, okay, well, why is Secret Agent Clank an actual thing now? I'm a little confused.
This is one of those instances where developers will pay. Jesus Christ, all these clouds will pay attention to fans. Like sometimes you will hear fans say, like, wouldn't it be cool if the Secret Agent Clank thing was real in this universe instead of just being a TV show? And they went with it. And it was really good. They managed to make it work. It just sucks with the fucking rhythm game.
The one thing I liked about the game, to justify having Clank on his own, that Ratchet is framed for crimes he's not doing, well, he's doing but not consciously, and is in prison. I find that quite, it's a smart way to get rid of Ratchet for a game for Clank to be Clank.
Also, it brings back an old enemy that was rather strange to see in the third game, but also at the same time kind of clever? Question mark.
Well, that's the thing. The prison has a lot of old enemies. Okay.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. Like the main bad guy.
Oh, Clunk. Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. I mean,
like when Clunk was introduced, I just started laughing because he pulls off one of the greatest lines in Ratchet and Clank history, aside from a can of whoop ass. Like in future Tools of Destruction, they finally say ass. But no, like he tries to say that's a bunch of bullshit, but Ratchet slaps him.
What a bunch of bullshit.
It is the greatest moment.
Yeah, I agree. But this is the thing about Clunk being the main bad guy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we blow him up in 3?
Well, apparently we didn't. Because the main bad guy from this, like the bad guy in the helicopter from the second game, survived a long fall from a helicopter.
You know what?
And is Secret Agent Clank.
You know what? He fell on a truck of marshmallows. That's what happened. That is now the new canon.
Like the only time we actually have a confirmed this person is dead is in Tools of Destruction and Deadlock.
Yeah, Deadlock, Vox's hand is all that stuff. Poor fucker. But honestly, do we care?
Nope.
Exactly. It's like, we're
Like
fine with
even
this.
even in Deadlock, there was a character that was meant to die but didn't.
No, he was brought back in Tools of the Future.
No. Ow. He dies, but then he
Oh
comes
yeah,
back
yeah.
at the end with robot bits.
As a cyborg, yeah.
And he's so
I guess
happy
they gotta
about it
kill him.
too.
Well, he's living his nerd fantasies now, so yippee for him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but I did enjoy the game. I still find it strange that in I think one of the most what the fuck moments for me, at least in terms of the game, Ratchet fighting in the showers. That was weird.
I like that. It was funny to me.
No. What really sealed the deal for me in the fuck factor was the the giant sensor bar he gets
That's
when the
what I'm
towel
talking
finally
about. That
comes
was
off.
so funny. I think that I forget what the reasoning for that one was. I think it was every time you got hit or every time you lost a lot of health, your towel would fly off and there would just be a giant sensor bar around you. And you had to find a new towel.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my god.
What I liked during the entire prison thing is that some like Clank would continuously send him cakes with weapons and shoes in it. But it was just like cake after cake after cake, and the warden never ever caught on. And the warden is supposed to be based on somebody from Texas. They will catch on.
No, one line from him that honestly got me to laugh was he acknowledges all the cakes and then says questions Lombak's birthdays, like how they work. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Ratchet's like right now he's 100. What else? Yeah. So basically, that's the game, and to be honest, I didn't mind it.
I
I
liked it,
found it all
yeah.
right. I mean, it didn't need to be serious. It just needed to be silly, and it
What
did it.
sucks is that I am still stuck on the first level because of that stupid rhythm game. I can't get past the guards because of the rhythm game. I hate it. That is how bad I am at it.
And you're a gamer. You have
Yes.
hand-eye coordination.
I actually don't. I have really bad motor functions. I just can't do rhythm games. Like give me one of those arcade games where you're a plane and you shoot. I can do those wonderfully. I am the pro at those. I just can't do rhythm. I'm gonna start taking bites out of my grilled cheese.
Okay. So I guess we can move on to the next game. So after all this came to an end, came the PS3, and with that came the future titles.
Mm-hmm.
That is, by the way, that is officially what they're called, future titles.
Yep. I figured that out a long time ago.
No, I'm just making it clear for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one of these is Tools of Destruction, and it's not a reboot, but it's more of a continuation of the series moving forward. And Tools, again, this is me summarizing it all. Tools is Ratchet discovers his species' past. He encounters the last of the Kragmites, a race that fought the Lombaxes, and their offspring now wants vengeance for what he perceives as an injustice. The game is pretty interesting. It's a bit longer than the other game, more story.
Mm-hmm.
It also introduces Clank's destiny as some sort of time guardian. Well, not fully, but you get hints of it.
Yep.
And that's the basics of the game. It also kind of shows that Ratchet does want to find out what happened to his species, wants to meet more of his kind, even though one already exists, but whatever. Just say it. But anyway, and it also introduces, going back to that trend of we need to give Ratchet a girlfriend. What was it, Talwyn? I believe.
Tally, yeah.
Yeah, so Talwyn is the new girl, and apparently, according to her father is a Lombax expert, kind of like a Indiana Jones level expert.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to find her father, and so helps Ratchet in his quest to find out where his kind went. Because I believe she thinks that's where she'll find her father.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And yeah, the game has a lot of Ratchet soul searching, which I kind of like, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, this came out of nowhere.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Taki, the main bad guy.
But you had to admit, he's. Let's just admit this. He is a. He's a shrunken down version of Nefarious.
Yes, but somehow not as funny. He's loud. He's more loud than he is funny. That's all I can say, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I do like about Tachyon is some of the funny moments that happen to him, not so much what he says. You know, like the very. By the way, I should also mention this. The whole weapon that Ratchet is looking for, the thing that his species created to get rid of the Pragmites, is a hat.
This is a. Apparently, this is a thing about Lombax. They create these amazing inventions, but they're very stupid. Like,
Design-wise, they're stupid.
yeah. Electrified underwear, a rubber ducky.
Antimatter.
Yes.
The rocket sled was another one. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, the Stunderwear was the real highlight almost.
Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently it sold well, so if there's a market...
There's
I
a
won't
market
judge.
for masochists that want their junk electrified, then go for it.
Yeah. Again, I'm not judging. If you're making money off of it, go for it. I'm just gonna
Stay
look at
away
you
from it. Just don't wear it.
No. I'm just going to judge you in the corner, away from you. Slowly. Just in pure and complete blackness, staring at you. Anyway, so it turns out the device is actually a hat which opens portals to parallel dimensions. And the Lombaxes apparently not wanting to kill the species that was known to enslave whole planet systems. Yeah, going
Well,
with the
no. That is not it. No.
What?
Tachyon was raised by Lombaxes, but he was creating things that they could not handle. So
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the species, his species.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, again, according to the game, the Kragmites, the Tachyon species, were incredibly dangerous. Like, we're talking about huge warlord levels of violence and viciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, instead of doing what, everyone assumes they had to do, vaporize an entire species, they chose instead to exile them.
Oh.
Again, you see the logical fallacy.
I see the logic behind it. I understand it. Sometimes killing things outright is not the solution.
And yet, because we didn't do that, they came back and worse than before.
Because one of them. That's because they found an egg and belching. They had regret.
Yeah, look where that regret got them.
The only reason Tachyon did the things he did to cause the Lombaxes to disappear is because he found out what happened.
And again, but here's the thing, then wouldn't it have been better to just basically, hey, why did you do this? and just kind of talk this out instead of saying, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to enact genocide now. Just saying. But anyway, so the Tachyon then gets said hat, opens portal, releases Kragmites back into the universe. Again, congratulations, Lombaxes. You fucked up. Idiots. But by the way, fun fact, and I don't know if this is in the pamphlet inside the game or not, but it turned, those the space pirates in Future?
Yes. I love those guys so much.
Apparently, Tachyon made them. The apparent justification is as follows. Tachyon created the space pirates while he was securing his empire in this galaxy. Yeah, by the way, we go to another galaxy.
Yep.
Just clearing that up. While this was happening, he built and created this army of space pirates, robot space pirates, to go to the other galaxy and look for Lombaxes. However, there were several internal fights, resulting in the pirates becoming their own faction.
Mm-hmm.
One of the captains in the Quark Vid comic, what was his name? Black Star? Dark Star?
Something star. I don't remember. I did not enjoy doing the vid comics. That's why I don't want to replay the game.
All right. Well, Captain whatever Star basically did this, but was betrayed, and his pirates went rogue. Then you've got the pirates in Future, and the captain of that group, what's his face? Excuse me. Basically went against Tachyon because he said, you know what, I'm going to be greedy. Is then betrayed by his first mate, Slag, who then, who then basically just went on to a life of pillaging and polluting, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to question, why build the robots to be pirates?
Cover? I guess. I don't know.
It just seems stupid. I mean, just build an army of robot commandos. You did this with fish, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. So, obviously that happens. Everything backfires. Tools of Destructions ends with Ratchet, the hat in Tachyon's hand, the Kragmite to set things right. He defeats Tachyon. The Dimensionator opens up a portal to null space, I suppose. And, Tachyon falls into I assume his death. Ratchet returns, and then the Zoni, a race of time-traveling aliens, abducts Clank and takes him away. Again, we are condensing these games down incredibly small.
Yep.
However, did you know that a in-between game was actually made?
I think so.
Quest for...
oh, yeah. I thought you were asking me.
Yeah, but... Okay.
No, I've seen that one.
Well, for the booty, for those of you who don't... Basically...
Stop, you're roboting.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How about now?
You're okay now.
Okay, that was weird. Yes, the computer doesn't want me, but...
Nope, still going.
I was right! Hold on. How about now?
You're quiet now.
How quiet?
Okay, you're a little bit louder.
How about now? I'm
That's
talking
good.
right into my microphone.
Oh my god.
Just shouting at the top of my mouth. So, Quest for the Booty is this DLC-sized game, but it wasn't made as a DLC. It was re-released as its own separate thing. but it shows. Like, it's very short. You don't get that many weapons, and it feels on the cheap side.
Mm-hmm.
In summary, Ratchet is looking for a pirate, Darkwater, who was the captain Slag betrayed, for a map which is supposed to lead him, because apparently Darkwater was friends with the Zoni, the time traveling aliens, and so he's trying to get into contact with Darkwater so that way he can help him find his way back to Clank. However, it turns out Darkwater has been dead for a long time.
Oh boy.
I guess it's true, dead men don't tell tales. However, one of the pirates, Rusty Pete, the second in hand, or first
The
lieutenant,
guy who's always drunk.
yes, Slag's right-hand man, basically, by the way, this is a bit fucked up. Where's the head of Slag?
Carries it.
No, he wears it at one point, at the intro. Kind of messed up. Where's the head? And then convinces the crew to send both Ratchet and Tywin to an island where it was Darkwater's last resting place. Upon reaching it, it turns out Pete did this mostly to stick Slag's head on Darkwater's body and resurrect him. It kinda worked. Yeah, basically, by the way, it also turns out that these robots have souls.
Mm-hmm.
I find that both unusual and slightly creepy. Just saying, guys, it's kind of fucked up. No. Anyways, it turns out that Darkwater sealed his soul inside his body. So obviously, when Slag takes over, he wakes up Darkwater. And the two basically enter some serious banter, arguing with each other constantly. Actually, one thing I find... What's up?
I'm remembering something from that stupid Quark vid comic.
Go ahead.
Nope, never mind. I just realized what I was thinking.
It's like, nope, never mind. It was total bullshit.
Oh no, I was thinking I was putting two and two together, but it's so far apart. No.
It's okay. It's alright. So, it turns out that Slag kind of lies and claims that he bested Darkwater in single combat and by the way, in his own words, never the most fair and honorable fight in pirate history. In reality, he stuck up behind him and stabbed him with a sword. Yeah, that was the thing. And of course, when he comes back to life, Darkwater berates the guy and basically says, I'm dead on account of your backstabbing ways and sticking the sword through me back." He's so mad about it too. Anyway, as it turns out, the story basically ends with Ratchet re-killing Slag, taking out Darkwater, taking a weird artifact, and discovering where Clank is. It turns out he's in the Great Clock, a massive, massive time travel device. Again, condensed down for time. And this comes into what is it? A Kraken time?
Yep. The sad
Kraken
part is
time
like Malinowski was doing that Let's Play last time. Anybody ever heard from him? I don't remember how far he got. I guess he went like 3/4 into the game, and then suddenly he just disappeared.
And then he imploded.
I think a lot of people think he graduated.
Yeah, probably.
Because he was he was 14 when he finished the Jack and Daxter, like Jack 3.
Oh, Jesus. That is young.
Yeah.
Ow. Anyway, so Kraken Time, and this is the game that kind of, I don't know how to feel about this one, to be honest.
That was a game that everybody was hyped up for. It was like a big phenomenon. Everyone was excited for it.
And then it just
I
kind of
didn't.
it feels
I
lukewarm.
it it was good. Apparently, I never got to see it really. But
I go ahead.
but I don't really know what to say. I only read about how it goes and how it ends.
I sat through the game. I watched the cutscenes and everything, just story stuff, because I don't have a PS4 anymore or PS3 anymore. And well, effectively, the game is just. It turns out Nefarious. The whole point is that Nefarious returns. It turns out he went a little. What?
They're using him so much.
But what I was going to say is that Nefarious returns, he went insane a little bit, attended anger management, did yoga, meditated, more anger management, and finally achieved inner peace. He then went immediately back and decided to try and be evil. Great progress, Nefarious. Really great.
Wow.
But it turns out that he discovered that there is a device in the galaxy that would allow him to go back in time.
We're reaching 4 hours, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The big point is that he wants to go back in time and create a universe or a time in which the hero always loses. I don't know how to feel about that, honestly. I mean, I'm okay with it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, we're reaching here. Again, the game just kind of boils down to two destinies becoming one, Ratchet kind of saying, okay, I've grown up, I don't need to find the rest of my kind, I'm happy as I am, Clank coming back to be Ratchet's backpack for some reason, and Nefarious is just being Nefarious. We probably should have divided this into two different categories for two different shows.
Yeah.
You know what? We should do that. Okay, here. We'll do this. We'll talk more
we looked back into the past. Next time, our next episode, which will be on Thursday, this time it will be on Thursday, we'll have our hopes for newer games.
Yeah, we'll cover the last of the future series. I guess we'll go.
Ow.
I guess we'll go into the a Kraken Time more in detail for the next episode. But for now, I guess that's it for now. We'll take on the last of the future episodes, which is Kraken Time, All for One, and Full Frontal. And then we'll give
That was another thing about their humor. Subtle sexual jokes. Subtle.
Yeah, actually, have you heard the SGB titles for Ratchet and Clank?
I almost don't want to.
Blowing off steam.
Yeah.
No, or what was the other one? No, I think one was like blowing the job. Oh man, you know what? When we do the next half of this series, we need to rewatch those episodes and just write down everything they said about that, because I want to say them so badly.
Yeah, that was another thing about Ratchet, like the subtle jokes in the names.
Sex puns.
Yes, up your arsenal, going commando, Kraken Time, size matters.
Actually, slag is a slur word as well.
I know.
It's so unfortunate.
I know.
But I'm fine with it. So,
yeah, we need to stop. We've been going for too long, and I actually do want to play a different game.
Yeah, it's like I blame myself for that one. My tangent went longer than I should have done.
First mate is second in command. Thank you, Bill.
Fuck off. No, I'm kidding.
Well, when it comes to nautical terms, me and him are the best at it.
Fair enough. All right, well, we will see you guys next Thursday. Thanks for stopping by.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Okay. There's flowers. There's the flowers. We will see you guys later. Planning to do a live stream soon for our work. I take commissions now. Yay.
Bye.
Give me a second, I gotta get the outro music. Which, by the way, will be changing. Oh, we should have said this. Outro music and break music will be changing soon. We're just trying to figure things out. Because we're indecisive. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next Thursday. See you guys later.